Hello and welcome in to Shmokin' Hot Takes. Brock Purdy once thought to be the next Tom Brady, and the 49ers are frauds. The Raiders might be the worst managed professional sports team in history. And are all of the NFL players kissing each other? Because everybody is sick as a dog right now. We discuss all this, plus our Shmokin' Hot Week 8 recap, plus our Week 9 picks and power rankings. We also have hot takes from you, our audience. That will be that will be reacted to. Stick around. This is a fun one. Let's get smoking. Okay.
Smoking.
Welcome into Smoking Hot Takes. I'm here, Prophet Jay, and I'm with Koop.
Heyo.
And KDawg. Woof,
Hey.
woof. And guys, it's officially Christmas time. We're past
All right.
Halloween,
Is it really?
and now it's time to celebrate Christmas.
Prophet J, you already decorated or something?
Yeah, we did actually last night. Last night we were
Wow.
decorating,
Decorating on Halloween.
pulling out all the stops. I mean, because we live in an apartment, right? So we don't have any trick or treaters.
Sure.
So, but yeah, it's Christmas time. I mean, I don't really consider Thanksgiving a holiday. It's like the prequel to Christmas.
Yeah. It's the holiday season, you know.
I don't
Sure.
like to get ahead of myself. I like to enjoy them as they come. I haven't started thinking about Christmas quite yet.
You haven't started thinking about what you're getting for your loved ones?
No,
Maybe
I
some.
I actually already have a couple of
That
gifts.
stresses me out. I don't want to
Yeah.
think about that yet. Robert J, you said you
Okay.
have a couple. You have a couple.
Yeah, I already
gifts
have
already?
some. I don't want to spoil it just in case they're listening, but I already got some Christmas gifts on the completed. It's actually kind of a
Wait,
spur of the moment thing, but they're pretty solid. They're pretty good. I'm
You
a pretty
must-
good gift giver, if I do say so myself.
You must be talking about the gifts you're getting me and Coop, I assume.
Yep. The
Heyo.
gifts I'm getting you guys is actually our new merch. Just came out today. Smoking Hot's store, Smoking Hot Takes store at teespring.com.
That's
Check
right.
it out. Coop's got the designs on there. I put one up, or Coop put one of mine up there. And yeah, if you guys are interested, check that out. You can also follow us on Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and more at Smoking Hot Takes. We had a heyday on Twitter yesterday with the trade deadline,
Oh yeah.
reacting with memes and other hot takes. A lot of controversy, a lot of Raiders fans unhappy with what I was calling out. I said Adams to the Chiefs. I've been saying that all season long. Didn't happen,
Right.
obviously.
They were saying that, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the trade deadline was pretty boring.
It
All in
was
all.
super boring. I mean, compared to last year, you know, we saw some big moves.
Yeah, McCaffrey was the headline last year.
Yeah, it always seems like, you know, everyone expects some offensive pieces to be moving around, but it's always the defense that seems to switch places, you know?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like
Seahawk.
I was gonna say I feel like it's more typical where we don't really see a whole lot. Like there's a lot of hype and then not as
Yeah.
much really happens. I think like the McCaffrey example, like that's
It's kind of an
unique,
outlier. I
you know?
mean, TJ Hawkinson also.
True. Yeah, I forgot about that
But
one.
Yeah, I think the big headline, Chase Young to the Niners,
that's right.
Montez Sweat to the Bears. What are we
Commanders-
doing?
Commanders
What are we
are just
doing?
clear. Commanders are just clearing house. They're just
Yeah, I
throwing
don't
away
really
their
understand that.
top
It's
three
like
defensive linemen.
it's weird because they you know, they did well against arguably the number one team in the league 2 times. You know, they already played them twice, the Eagles, and they played them pretty dang good. So I don't know why you're trying to clear house.
Yeah.
But
And they got nothing for it. They got literally
think-
nothing. Like, so bad.
yeah,
I could be wrong, but I think both of them are still on their rookie deals. They're gonna have to re-sign them. So maybe it's like we don't want to sign to a big contract. Let's just get something
Sure.
for him.
Well, that's why the Bears move didn't make any sense though, because he's just a rental. Montez Sweat, he's
That's
playing
true.
for half a season, and they gave up like a second, which is basically in Bears language a first because they're so bad.
Right. That's typical Bears management for you, I think.
So even though I said Raiders are the worst managed professional sports team, maybe it's the Bears.
Yeah. I mean, I don't imagine they don't re-sign him, right?
Yeah, but that's up to him.
You can't. Well, maybe they're gonna work on that during the season. You know, I feel like they kind of have to. They have to do everything they can to sign him now.
Right.
Trade that for him.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I think the other one was Rasul Douglas to the Bills. That was a big one. Bills added into that secondary because they lost Tre'Davious White. That's injured right now. I don't know. We're an offensive pod. So it's right.
You're right.
And then the big offensive headliner, Donovan Peoples-Jones to was it the Jaguars? Where did he go again?
No, it was the
the Lions. It was the Lions. Yeah.
Come on, guy.
Same. It was a cat, just a different breed.
No, but the Seahawks. Come on, Leonard Williams, Big Willie. Yeah,
is that what we call him? Big Willie.
Call him here.
Big Willie joining HCL, baby.
Okay, really. But
if you know,
because he's coming into an already pretty good defense at the Seahawks, and he's only gonna make it better. I think the Cowboys are gonna be pretty scared when they have to face us later on. What do you think, KDawg?
I think you're getting a little ahead of yourself. I just said
hey,
I want to not get ahead on the our holidays. I don't want to get ahead on the games either, but I'm still feeling good about that one. That's all I'll say for now.
All right.
Okay. Well, let's since we're not getting ahead of ourselves, let's talk about last week. Let's talk about first our Shmokin takes recap. So, I think we all whiffed pretty big this past week. KDawg, can you remind the people what was your Shmokin take for week 8?
Oh, it started with mine, huh? Well, mine was arguably the worst. Well, no,
wow.
we'll see. We'll let the listeners decide. But I predicted, as part of my Patriots upset over the Dolphins, which somehow didn't happen. I predicted Mac Jones would outperform Tua for 3 touchdowns. Now, if you guys were watching that game, I believe the Patriots, they started out first quarter, went up 7-0 on a Mac Jones touchdown. I was like, wow,
KDawg was feeling good.
Like, this is looking pretty good. But then the end result, of course, the Dolphins win by 2 scores. Tua throws for twice as many yards, over 300, and has 3 touchdowns to Mac Jones only throwing 2 touchdowns. So
yeah,
we didn't quite get this one. I think I am just done. I don't know what's up with me picking the Patriots to do well. I think I'm officially done with that.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Okay, Koop, lay it on the people. What did you have?
All right, I had Josh Downs, 2 tutties. I believe I called 150 yards.
I think you said like 2. I think you said 200.
I think I started at 200, then I talked myself down to 150. The actual outcome was Josh Downs 7 catches for 70 yards, no touchdowns, but that's still pretty good.
Close enough. You got halfway there.
Decent game.
Yeah, that's 14 points in PPR, so not bad.
Yeah, we take that. He's been good, man. That Gardner Minshew with the Colts has been looking good. Honestly, getting wide receivers involved. Mine was, so I had 2. First was PJ Walker threw 3 interceptions. He threw 2. I also called 2 of those to Witherspoon. Witherspoon had 0. So that was off. And then the New York Giants, I predicted them to beat the Jets. That did not happen. And I also predicted Waller, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Saquon to all have touchdowns. Guess how many of them had touchdowns?
Oh, yeah, actually.
Whoever did that was sick. Guess how many touchdowns they had?
0.
You know who had the 1 touchdown? It was Tommy DeVito, rushing touchdown.
I'm glad you said that because I was gonna throw that in too. I heard I don't know if this is true or not, but I was seeing online that like Tommy DeVito wasn't even on ESPN Fantasy.
I bet not.
I don't know if that's true or not, but Private J, to give yourself a little credit, I remember on the pod last week, you did predict the 3 interceptions for PJ Walker. You said 2 of them going to Witherspoon. I said, "Who's the third going to?" I believe you said Julian Love, and he did
I
get
did.
one. So,
You
I
did,
did
yeah.
say.
so,
You guys are like, who's that? Who's
find
that?
find a little silver lining there.
Yeah.
You got something.
So, yeah, we all whiffed, but I have a feeling you guys are really, at least one of us in this group is really gonna like mine for this upcoming week. But
Okay.
Wait, I feel like
We're
it's
not
gonna be
gonna-
the same as mine.
we're not gonna drop that yet. We're not gonna drop that yet. You gotta wait till the end of the episode to hear that.
Nice.
So let's get in. Week 8 recap. Let's talk through some of these games because we had some really intriguing games that happened over this past weekend. First, we had the Cincinnati Bengals
Ooh.
taking on the Niners.
Who? The Schmangles?
The Schmangles? How about the Wangles, meaning the winning Bengals? I don't know.
Oh,
Not
okay.
good.
Oh wow.
KDawg and I, we said, nah. Niners got this at home.
Easy dub.
Bouncing back after a 2-game losing streak. But Koop, on the other side, he called it. He was right.
I just had a little bit of a feeling in this one. It's kind of interesting because going into this game, we all kind of thought Brock Purdy was going to be out with the concussion. Everybody was using that as an excuse for why he threw those 2 picks at the end of the game the previous week. And then it was all Sam Darnold. And I texted you, I was like, oh, hey, Sam Darnold. Like, it was already looking good for me. And then Purdy clears the concussion protocol in like lightning speed, unprecedented. And I was starting to think, okay, maybe I didn't call this one. And then he goes into this game and throws 2 more picks. So what's your excuse now, Purdy stands? You know, he's looking like hot doo-doo.
He is. Yeah, man. It's like under pressure. He's not looking great. In addition to the 2 picks, he also had a fumble lost. So 3 total turnovers for Purdy. And again, we kind of see McCaffrey kind of held quiet. He had 12 carries for 54 yards. Like, that's a pretty quiet day for McCaffrey. He did have a good day through the air, but I mean, he's that whole offense, and we're seeing that without some of these other pieces being involved. You know, your Debos, your.
I mean,
it's really Debo.
So it's all just Debo. Like, people are cutting him slack still because he doesn't have Debo. I mean, he's still got Kittle. Kittle had 150 yards. You know, he still got Ayuk. He had 110 yards. It's just they couldn't outscore the Bengals. You know, and this.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I agree. Like, I don't think not having Debo is any excuse. I mean, every team loses pieces on offense, and 49ers, they still have, even without Debo, still have arguably, you know, a really good or as good of a skill position group as other teams do when everyone is healthy.
Right.
I think the 49ers might have a pretty big problem right here. With these 3 games that are in these 3 games that they've lost, Purdy only has 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. In their first 5 games in which they won, he had 9 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. So it's just completely flipped. Like, he was known for not turning the ball over, making all the right decisions, and we're just seeing the complete opposite these past 3 games. And if it's 2 games, I feel like me and others were willing to maybe look past that, but 3 games, I don't know.
Yeah,
that looks like a pattern to me.
I know. I remember all the talk. You know, before this, we all were saying the Niners are unbeatable. Blah blah blah. Purdy's the GOAT, but it just seems like everything's caught up to him now, and it's like looking back, you can almost like hindsight's 2020, right? Like this was almost inevitable that the league would catch up to him in a way. But yeah.
So I have a question, because you know what the last Niners win was, or who it was against? It was that blowout versus the Cowboys, 42-10. So what do we make of the Cowboys? I think the Cowboys are kind of frauds if they're getting blown out by a team that's not that great. That's what I'm hearing here.
I mean, you could say that about, like, you could play that game with so many teams.
I know.
I mean, the Seahawks lost to the Rams week 1, who have lost to.
Okay.
How many teams now? You know, we could play that game.
You're right. Like, we could say the Jets are the best team in the league right now.
Yeah, Jets beat the Eagles. Yeah. I think on the other side of the ball in this game, Joe Burrow, he's back. He had a huge game against
Yeah,
the vaunted 49ers defense. I mean, he nearly had a perfect game. Like he was 28 for 32, 280 yards, and then 3 touchdowns. He looks great.
right. Yep.
I think the Bengals are on a 3-game win streak now. I think they're
I think
back,
they're
guys.
back. I think they're back. Burrow, I kind of said something like this going into this game. Like, why I picked them was because the narrative coming out of this was, hey, Burrow's back, he's healed up, and then the Niners are on a little bit of a skid. We'll see if that continues going forward. We'll talk about that later, but yeah, it's just how
Yeah.
it turned out.
Burrow 3 tutties, and then along with him, Chase had 100 yards plus a touchdown. So, yeah, I mean, I think I was a little ahead on this Bengals bounce back. I mean, they were in my power
Well,
rank. They were in my power rankings. You guys haven't had them in.
maybe
I think they
KDawg
will
was
be this
really
week.
ahead.
Yeah,
Because you had them like 5 weeks ago.
I think like after maybe I forget either after week 1 or week 2, I still had him there, and you guys are giving me shit about it. But then I took him out, so I was like really early, but then gave
Right.
up on it.
You're too early, man. Yeah, you got to stick strong.
Yeah.
But I don't want to hear
Yeah.
any more of this reactionary crap about my power rankings.
Well,
I'm just a prophet. That's what they call me.
sure.
Yeah, we'll see. No
We'll see.
promises.
All right, let's talk about the Seahawks and Browns. This is a close game. Seahawks win 24-20 over the Browns on a last-minute touchdown from JSN.
That's right. And I kind
Hawks
of
with
want
2
KDawg
picks.
to lead this one.
Yeah, from an
Oh, dude.
outsider's perspective.
Oh, do
No,
you?
for picking the losers.
Yeah. So unfortunately, after this game, my perfect streak of picking Seahawks games this year has come to an end, which is
That's
really
right.
unfortunate because I really wanted to. As soon as I realized that last week, I really wanted to hold it over you guys for as long as I
I know
can,
you
or
did.
as long as I could, and now it's gone. So that's unfortunate. I was watching it. I mean, the Seahawks offense, kind of both offenses, just like shut down for half the game. Like after like
Yeah,
midway second quarter. I was not expecting to lead that game-winning touchdown drive at the end. That was impressive, especially against the Browns defense. So give them credit. I don't know. I still don't know what to think about the Browns, how good I think they are. I think, their offense is really lacking. I mean, PJ Walker, he's decent. We've all agreed, maybe not Coop, but the rest of us have agreed, maybe better than Deshaun Watson. But he still,
Uh,
he still turns the ball over a lot, and like
He does.
the
Yeah.
the Browns offense is easily bottom 10 in the league, I would say at this point.
yeah. I
So
mean,
I don't know. I mean, good win for the Seahawks. They keep, they number one in the NFC West now. Who would have seen that
that's
coming a few
right.
weeks ago?
Yeah,
Number
I just
1 in the NFC West and number 1 alternative jerseys in the league.
Yeah, those
so true.
I don't know if I'm willing to say number one, but they are very nice. I like them a lot.
Well, they're
I
number
actually
one
like
in
seeing
my
them
heart.
live. I feel like it's different, like when you see pictures, or like the preview, and then you actually see it out on the game. Like they did look really cool.
Yeah.
The other
Well,
part I want to call about this game, I'll just make this quick, Coop, giving me a stanky face,
I am.
was
And cut
the
off.
Seahawks O-line played fan-frickin-tastic against one of probably the contenders for Defensive Player of the Year in Myles Garrett. I think we only gave up 1 sack the whole game, which in my eyes is really impressive. And we have a banged up O-line. We you know who we rolled out? 40-year-old Jason Peters,
Hey, he's
who's
pretty
been in
dang
the
good.
league for 20 years. So props to our O-line. I'm sure Russ is over in Denver steaming. He's like, where was that when I was here? But we
Right.
did it for Geno. Honestly, though, I think if we had Russ, I think this team would be a little better, honestly, right now.
I
Which
was
might be
I
a
was
hot take.
literally like I was literally just about to ask you that question. I think we had the same train of thought.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, Coop?
Yeah, yeah. With how Geno's playing right now, definitely not the quarterback he was last year.
No, definitely not.
It's almost like they had a little body switch,
A little Freaky Friday.
Right,
Is that
yeah, a
what that
little
was?
Freaky
That
Friday
movie?
going on, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which I think is impressive with where we're at with our record. I think Prophet Jay and I need to take a step back and kind of realize we're a 5-2 Seahawks team right now. Like that's pretty dang good. And it's come at a time when our offense isn't exactly clicking. I don't think. I think it can only get better like from here on. Our defense has really stepped up. I just think once everything kind of falls in place, like this team can be pretty unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, to give ourselves some credit, we predicted them to win the division and make it pretty far in the playoffs.
We did. We
so,
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it
hopefully was looking scary where we had the
Yeah.
Niners. So
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a long way to go in that division race, but yeah,
That's
I mean,
fair.
You're right.
I'll give the Seahawks credit. I would not have seen
I mean,
a 5-2
like,
start.
take their record away. Like, I don't really know if they're a 5-2 team right now. Like, I think we had those. We at least should have. We could have beat the Bengals, so we could be 6-1. But I'm actually looking at this in the reverse. Like, I think we could easily be like a 3-4 team right now.
To be fair, we haven't really played all that many decent teams. Like we played the Lions, that was a good win, but we also lost to the Bengals and we also lost to the Rams. But we don't really have any. We haven't had a whole lot of huge tests up until this weekend. This weekend will be a big test. We won't talk about it, but yeah,
I saw a stat today that you guys aren't gonna like. So I forget what source publishes this. Have you guys heard of like DVOA? I don't know what it stands for. I forget, but basically it's like a measure of how good each team is. Offense and defense. I think it's like efficiency. Like the advanced stats or whatever. Anyway,
Sure.
so they were saying that the Seahawks, thus far in the season, based on opponent DVOA, they've had the easiest schedule in the league.
Yeah, I believe it.
And from now on, they have the third hardest. So
and that's fine. It's
just
a good test.
Yeah. So we'll
prove your mettle.
they're gonna have to prove it. Rest of the year.
I mean that makes sense. We got the Niners twice, we got the Eagles, we got the Ravens, we have the Cowboys. Like there's a lot of quality teams coming up like that. So yeah, we'll have a lot of tough matches, but I have confidence that we will continue to do well.
I do too.
And then maybe talking about a team that doesn't have a lot of confidence right now. We got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Denver Broncos. Let's go Broncos fans. Taking home the dub in like in the freezing weather over the sick Patrick Mahomes. I thought this could have been like a flu game for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
But no, the Broncos win 24-9. They end it's like a 15 or 16 game losing streak against the Chiefs, which is just, you wouldn't even think that's real. I don't even know how Patrick Mahomes has played. I think it extends past Patrick Mahomes, right?
It's a decent amount pre Mahomes, I think.
Yeah.
It's like Peyton Manning, I think. Maybe
Taylor Swift must have not been at this game because both Mahomes and Kelsey were just kind of stanky. Kelsey kept in check to 58 yards. Mahomes threw 2 picks. I mean, it was just the Chiefs just weren't the same Chiefs that we all know and hate.
Yeah,
they weren't. They weren't the Golden Boys.
Because I mean, we text each other during these games, and C-Dubs is like the 1 week Koop doesn't pick the Chiefs, and I just remember on the pod, like we talked about the hype team going into the week, and KDawg was like, I swear if it's the Chiefs, blah blah blah. Like this was the game to pick. It was right there in front of me. But yeah, I mean, Broncos just kind of put together a game. Like, what else can you say about that? Like,
it was a weird win for the Broncos because Russ only threw for 114 yards.
For 3
he completed 12. He completed 12 passes. Yeah, 3 tutties. A weird win. He got sacked 6 times. Like if you look at just the stats, even though Patrick Mahomes threw 2 picks, he had more completions, more yards. Like you don't really see this as a win on paper, but then you also look at the rushing game. Like Javonte had a monster day, 27 carries, 85 yards. I mean, it's just kind of one of those ugly wins that I don't really I feel like I need to go back and rewatch this game to really understand how
I guess
it
you
came
could
to
say
be this way.
It's a Broncos win,
Yeah,
those have just been pretty ugly.
I mean, you take it though, right? Like any win over the Chiefs is a good win.
Yeah, this is like winning the Super Bowl for the Broncos, and
So
beating the
sad.
Chiefs after all these years.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, good win for the Broncos. I agree, it's a weird one looking at the stats. Like it's kind of a head scratcher, but I think at the end of the day, Chiefs. I think they had 4 turnovers this game, and that was kind of, they may have put up the yards, but ultimately they couldn't score. What they get three field
Right.
goals.
I mean,
Um,
do you blame? So if you're a Chiefs fan, do you blame it all on Mahomes being sick, or can you look at this Broncos defense and since they were shat on with 70 points, haven't they been like a top 5 defense since then?
is that true?
I
I don't
believe
know.
so.
The Broncos top 5
Yeah,
defense?
yeah.
Oh, I don't
Since
know.
the
We'll have to
Shatney.
look into that. We'll have to talk to our local Broncos fan about that.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
right.
do a little research. Back to you all next
Seems
week.
like we
That'd
should
be
have done that research before this podcast.
that's a good. I mean, if that's true, that's kind of wild given how like poorly they've been playing and
I
that
mean,
they like didn't they lose? Didn't they cut a bunch of their players too? Like who was it? Gregory Joseph? Didn't he go to the Niners and then
That's a kicker,
uh
my guy.
no? Okay, I think some Joseph. I can't remember. Again, offensive pod here. We should just talk about fantasy football. That's really what we should be doing.
Yeah. No.
Anyways, well, we'll look into that. We'll talk to our Broncos fans. We got to source that information. Any more you guys want to talk about this one, or you feel satisfied? I don't like talking about the Chiefs all that much personally.
yeah, I'm ready to move on.
All right. How about the Bills and the Bucks, baby? The battle of the bees. The
Ooh-wee.
24 over 18. The Bills get this one. This was Thursday night football, right? And it was kind of a
That's right.
stanky game. I know I had the Bills. Someone picked the Bucks on this one. Was it
I
Coop?
did.
Yeah. So
I
Coop,
Ooh.
did.
give us your logic on picking the Bucks and what went wrong for you.
Well, first off, I didn't really watch this game. I was rock climbing. A
Oh,
great,
good.
a great exercise to do if you're listening and want to get into something like that. But I did see last second failed Hail Mary, where if one person in particular had turned around, I would be jumping for joy out of my seat, pooping all over you too. But you know what? Things just didn't turn out that way. Godwin didn't turn around. Um,
So I heard that when you do Hail Marys,
yeah,
that the receivers have specific roles
right.
in when they run down the field. And the reason that Godwin was turned around was he was supposed to catch like any tipped balls. And so that's the whole reason for why he was
Well,
turned around. Like he wasn't
Hmm.
supposed to be looking at Baker
that
throwing.
sounds ridiculous to me.
That's the
How are
truth.
you
That's
going to
what I
see a
heard.
ball if you're not even facing where the ball came from?
Well, he's catching the tipped passes. So he's
What
looking at
from looking at the stands?
I
How are
mean
you
it
supposed
makes
to
like
catch a tip
like
pass?
Man,
That's
so
ridiculous.
if you're facing me and I jump and I tip it, then he doesn't have
Well,
to
he
like
was
swivel
okay.
around and like
Okay,
try to
I
grab
can
it.
see
I
what you're
He was
saying
facing
there,
the
but
receiver.
I think he was too far in the end zone for that to even apply. He was like right on top of the receiver, the defender. So I don't know. I don't
I don't
see
know.
how that.
I hear what you're saying. I don't know, but I think it's just a shame. I mean, the guy, like, he's what, a half second probably away from catching that if he had just looked up a
Yeah,
little sooner.
I mean it's
If you're
perfect
a Bucks
ball.
fan, that one kind of hurts.
Yeah.
But I think the Bills. I mean, this game shouldn't have came down to that. Like the
No,
Bills
Bills
kind
are
of
just.
had control of
I
this
mean,
game.
They
profit.
play to
Yeah, go
they
ahead.
play to the level of their other team. That's what we've been saying for a
Absolutely.
while now. Like
Mhm.
they make these games closer than they need to be, I swear. Like for
Yeah.
the average team and below, they play to that level. For the teams that are actually good, the Bills just seem to like just go God mode and absolutely obliterate. Like when they played the Dolphins, they blew them out. Like
Yeah, they're like the
it just is a
anti-Dolphins.
weird. It's a weird. I don't really understand what the reasoning for it. I feel like it's just kind of the pattern we've noticed over this time. Um, and for the Bills, for those people out there that are playing fantasy football, a little sneaky breakout game for Khalil Shakir. I got him on my dynasty roster.
Nah,
You might
man.
want
Come
to keep that name in your back of your
Come
head.
on.
92 yards,
Scraping the
leading wide
barrel, bro.
receiver. Leading wide
Yeah,
receiver.
because that's gonna happen again when you have Diggs and Davis on the same team. Come on,
Well,
guys.
I'm just saying. Also,
Yikes.
Kincaid looked great through another week, which is
Oh,
awesome. He
actually,
had
yes,
65
Kincaid
yards
did look
and a
good.
tutty.
Breakout.
And they've been
You know,
Allen's been gassing him up. So that's been
yeah, I just think rookie tight ends this year are a pretty big deal. You know,
which
I think
was interesting because there was a lot of talk preseason about how rookie tight ends aren't really around. They don't
yeah.
really do much. They don't break out. But we've had
Mhm.
two, arguably you could arguably say three if there was a better quarterback in Las Vegas taking advantage of Michael Meyer. Or he had a one good game. He had a good game a couple weeks ago. And Laporta has been great. But like I'm saying, I genuinely believe that if they had a better QB, he would get more involved.
Well,
And who knows,
AOC,
with a
man.
new OC, maybe he does. We didn't even talk about all of the Raiders getting fired, all
I
the
mean, we'll get
coaches
there,
and the
bro.
GM.
Well, yeah, we'll get to
But
that.
we'll get to that. But anyways, tight ends, the rookie tight ends. I feel like the fantasy tight end landscape hasn't been that bad this year, personally.
No, which is kind of, I don't know. I see a lot of people moving forward, like switching and just taking tight ends out of fantasy altogether, and like you could still draft, your Andrews and your Kelsey, but I don't think that's a bad idea. But
But
again, this isn't a
just
fantasy,
have it as like you could flex
still
them, but
flex
not
like
have it
a
designated.
receiver
That is
tight end.
interesting.
I
Yeah.
disagree with that, but I think that's what.
That's interesting.
I just think having a top tight end almost gives you too much advantage,
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, which is a true because I have Andrews and I'm 4-4 in one.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I don't think Andrews has been playing like a top tight end so far, personally. But
are you
he's
sure
been
about
okay. He's been okay.
He's been okay.
He's not getting the volume. He's
Twice.
not getting volume. That's the problem. The other part I want to talk about this Bills game is, and it's kind of a theme across a lot of different quarterbacks this season, is just how many turnovers, like specifically interceptions, they've been throwing. Allen is tied for second. Garoppolo has the most with 9, and that's why he got his ass benched. But Josh Allen
When do we
is
bench
tied.
Allen then?
Well, I don't. He's tied with 5 other QBs, notably Mahomes and Hurts, with 8 interceptions so far this season.
That's crazy.
Which the other few you would expect. You got Howell, Jordan Love, and Mac Jones.
You know what's wild? Aaron Rodgers only threw like 4 in one of his MVP seasons.
So is this QB's just playing bad, or is this defense stepping up?
Man, I think QBs are just playing booty.
I don't think it's like a greater trend or anything. I mean, Josh Allen's always thrown a lot of interceptions.
Yeah.
Mahomes, his interceptions are always low, so I feel like this is kind of
I think
an
Mahomes
outlier for
always.
him.
What I remember from previous years is where he'll throw very easy to catch interceptions that have just been dropped. Like his
But you could say that about anybody, probably.
No, him more so than a lot of people. And it was kind of the same with Purdy last year. Now it's starting to catch up with him. People are actually hanging on to his balls,
Yeah. I hear you. I don't know, man. It's just a weird thing. Like with Dax not leading the league in picks, I think everything's just weird.
He's only done that once in his 8-year career, right?
Oh wow.
Jesus
KDawg,
Christ.
don't come up with. He's so quick with the stat.
Barking at you, man.
Yeah, he showed some teeth there.
I don't. Yeah. I won't take that unnecessary slander.
He's not taking slander. Yeah. All right, let's move to the Jaguars versus the Steelers. Jaguars came out on top, 20-10. This was in Pittsburgh. This is one that we all felt was kind of a trap game. Like someone felt weird about this. The Steelers could win this one, but while it was low scoring, it was pretty decisive. I think in terms of the Jaguars win, pretty dominant.
Man.
Yeah, and the Jags are just hot.
I'm so happy the Steelers didn't pull out another nonsensical win that we just can't figure out. So this is how this game should go. I mean, the Jaguars are looking like one of the best teams in the league. I feel like we We should start treating them like that. I feel like we haven't really given them enough respect or
Well,
talked about
I've
them
had
or
him.
even talked about them much. You know, I don't know.
I've had him in my top 10 for a
I,
while
I
now.
I was pretty
So
Well,
low on them,
sure,
to be
sure,
fair.
sure, but I don't think we talk about them on the same level as we do maybe the Eagles, Dolphins,
Yeah, they're
49
decent
ers
team.
up until recently.
Right.
I mean, they
I
just
mean,
got a
they're
lot of
just not
weapons.
flashy, They're not
Yeah,
flashy
they're
team.
they're really
Yeah,
not. Like
sure,
they just got
sure.
a lot of dudes that just go in and kind of, just put up yards. Like, and it's a
Yeah,
different guy each week. Like this week, Evan Ingram, 88 yards, leading
Right.
receiver. Ridley bounced back, 83 yards. And then you have like Kirk, who the last few weeks has been kind of the guy. He had only 46, but like they just kind of have guys who can just all do it. They're missing Zay Jones, who definitely is an important part of this offense. And then they got Etienne, who's just killing it on the ground, 80 yards
Yeah,
this week.
yeah.
So,
ETN has been just ridiculous. I think he's kind of the catalyst of that offense, and then everyone else kind of supports him.
I mean, he's looking like he's looking kind of like a sneaky MVP in fantasy so far this year, getting in like the third, fourth
Mm,
round. I mean, he's
yeah.
been great value on that guy if you took him.
It's upsetting because I'm 1 year too late on him. I had him last year, thought he would be this, and he never. He showed flashes last year. I think towards the second half of
yeah,
the year, but now he's really come into his own. So it's good to see.
yeah. I don't know. Jags just, you know, 1 minute you're looking away, next minute you look at them, they're 6-2. It's like, how do they get here? It kind of feels
Yeah,
like a similar team. Like as a Seahawks fan, it's just like I look at the record. How did we get to 5-2? How did the Jags get to 6-2? It's been a lot of these games where it's like very close. They get. Actually, I can't remember their two losses off the top of my head.
Well, I know they had a good win over the Bills, right? It wasn't that in London. They
Yeah.
lost to the
yeah. They
Texans. They
got
got blown out
yeah.
by the Texans,
Okay, that's right.
and
Yeah.
the
So
Chiefs. They
like
lost to the Chiefs.
just
So
pretty similar losses to us. We lost to Rams. That's not very good. Texans aren't very good. And then we lost to a Bengals team that's heating up, like the Chiefs. So I think it's a good comp. Lawrence is definitely not playing to the caliber that we all expected, but here he is
no,
leading this team.
I feel like he tends to heat up over the year, though. Like I feel like last year he was pretty hot at the end of last season.
Hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if he does that again. I mean, they just haven't been fully healthy. I don't know. I mean, I keep saying Zay Jones plays an important part, and I think he does, but I don't think that's what's holding Trevor Lawrence back. I think it's just
Yeah.
he's just got to get it going.
Yeah.
I'm a little skeptical on this Zay Jones being the key to
Well, you just
success.
see when he comes back, KDawg, you pay attention to that game.
I
And
will.
you're the guy who had T-Law at what? 3? QB3
Yeah,
overall
MVP.
and MVP,
and
which
MVP.
he's currently still top 10 MVP odds, so it's not over.
Who's leading it right now? Is it Josh Allen or is it Tua? Is
Last
it
I
Tua?
checked it was Tua, but that was a week.
Hey.
That was going on a week ago, so I don't know if this past week's games
Oh, you
changed
guys should
much.
see Koop's face. If Tua's
Uh,
MVP, you guys are never gonna hear the end of it.
I don't.
Well, if Tua's MVP, I know who Offensive Player of the Year is going to be, so I'm
That's
fine.
fair. That's fair.
I kind of feel that the quarterback. I mean, we know it's a kind of a quarterback award. I don't really think any quarterback thus far has done
Mm-mm.
anything to deserve it
It's no,
over
it's
Uh,
guys
super
like
open.
Tyreek Hill and Christian
AJ
McCaffrey.
Brown, something like
AJ
that.
Brown, yeah.
Oh,
I think
AJ
especially
Brown could be
McCaffrey.
it. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think my dark horse pick, and it's not even that much of a dark horse, but is McCaffrey. I
Yeah,
think
I think so
to
too.
kind of exceed these quarterbacks
Well,
as the
because
season goes on.
even when Purdy is struggling, like McCaffrey's still having his games.
He also
So
has
Right.
what is it, 17 games in a row with a touchdown? Something
Yeah,
like
he
that.
won't stop. Yeah, if he keeps scoring touchdowns like
yeah, I
that,
saw. Okay, so I can't back this one up. I saw a stat where if someone had rolled $100 bet into anytime touchdown for McCaffrey over this last like 16, 17 games, they'd have over $400,000.
Oh my god. I guarantee you there's somebody that has done that.
That's
It,
insane,
there
dude.
has to be one person out there that's done that.
Yeah.
Well,
oh,
what's the I mean,
you're saying that like if they win the first one, then they put it all on
Yeah,
the
they just
second
keep
one and
going.
so
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
So
well,
yeah.
maybe
When
someone's
do you
taking
stop? When do you stop? Like I think I'd
I
take the
wouldn't
four.
stop anytime soon, man.
I think I'd take some winnings and then maybe keep going.
Keep it
Maybe take
rolling. I
half.
mean, yeah. Oh, I was looking for him, but they got to buy this week. So
A much needed buy for the 49ers.
yeah, for your fantasy team, buddy.
Oh yeah, for that too. Yeah.
We'll talk about that in the
Guys,
mid segment.
I wish you could see Coop's sad set of running backs he's playing against me this week.
How about you tell us who it is?
Wait, who you got?
We
Yeah,
can-
I'm
we can talk
curious.
about him next
Tell the
week.
people.
I think you just added I gotta pull it up. You just added that Texans running back.
Singletary.
What's his name?
Oh
Singletary.
boy, that's
That's
gross.
right.
What happened to
Pierce
Pierce?
out. He his ankle's hurt.
And then
So-
he's got Kareem Hunt as well, who actually has been doing pretty well the last few games.
If
so
Ford doesn't
maybe
start,
maybe
and
you
Kareem
don't
Hunt-
deserve that hate as I
Yeah.
was trying to give you,
Check
but
yourself. Hey, this is how you curse your team, buddy. All right.
hey, I've been kind of talking shit all year and it's been working well, so I don't know.
As I said before in one of my sleeper chats, it's you have to pick one side or the other. You have to be completely innocent,
I know.
or you have to fully commit to the villain.
Yeah.
That's how you don't curse yourself. So KDawg is just admitting to being the villain this year. To be fair, you did say at the beginning, like, I have a great team. I could. What did you say? You could win the whole thing. I think that's what you
Yeah,
said.
after about week 2 or 3, I was like, this is mine to
He's
win.
getting arrogant. He's
I
trying to take
still-
my
I
throne.
still-
You're not taking my throne, boy. You ain't taking it.
I'm feeling good about it. We'll see. I mean, this is the battle for first place this week with me and Koop. So
That's right.
All right. Yeah, so let's blast through a few of these games real quick. Eagles Commanders, the rematch of the previous game that went to overtime where the Eagles won the previous matchup. The Eagles win this week 38-31, which wasn't that like the score of the last, wasn't that pretty close to the same score as last time?
39-38 or something like that.
Oh, it was pretty close. But
no, yeah.
dude, I mean, people are just putting up points on the Eagles. Like the secondary is banged up like crazy. I mean, Howell had a huge day against them.
40 for 52, dude.
Yeah, he had 4 tutties, only threw a pick. Great day for him. Almost 400 yards. Dotson had a breakout game. He got a touchdown. Crowder got a touchdown. McLaurin got a touchdown.
Need to stop slinging around this breakout game type word.
I mean, it kind of. Dotson's been quiet this season, dude. Like, he's been a lot quieter than most people expected.
So do you expect him going forward to just take over?
No, because I think they have too many.
Or what?
Well, no, not. I mean, you could have a wide receiver too have a breakout game. Devonta Smith, I would say, could have like last season he had like a breakout game and then he started popping off. So I think like, I think
like
he's still the 2. I think he's
breakout
the 2.
to me is like you take over in a way. You know.
I think it's also like if we've never seen anything from him before. We've seen good games from Dotson. Maybe not this year, but last year
Okay.
we did a few
Shmokers,
times.
let us know what breakout means to you. Let us know. Let us know in the comments.
I have a fun fact for you guys. So looking at the NFC East this past week, every NFC East quarterback, Sam Howell, Jalen Hurts, and Dak Prescott all had 4 passing touchdowns each, which is as many as the Giants have had all season. So that was kind of crazy. Yeah.
I feel like we're making fun of the Giants, which is a low-hanging fruit. Look, come on.
Well, it's a little,
look at this
a
giant
little-
fan over here.
That's some low-hanging fruit, dog.
And
Come
don't
on.
worry, I have more Giants stuff to say later on when we get to that game.
Yeah, we love that.
Sticking with this game though, yeah, I mean Commanders give the Eagles trouble once again, but unfortunately, I would love if the Commanders could take a game off them, but I guess
Well,
I
maybe
guess
next
not. So
Yeah, I mean,
maybe-
when you got
maybe next
AJ
year.
Brown doing AJ Brown things was 130 yards, and Smith doing Smith things was 100 yards.
I
It's a
think
little
AJ
tough.
Brown might be
Yeah.
my new favorite wide receiver.
Even
AJ
after
Brown
we're talking
is-
so much shit
I
about
know.
him.
For how much I disrespected him early on. I just
AJ
like
Brown
watching
is on he's just on a crazy streak right now. I think he has.
He just
what-
reminds me of me, you know.
How
AJ
so?
Brown could murder you, dude.
Okay, well, obviously, I mean, you know.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
I
mean,
think-
he's a bad man. He's
I
doing
think if we
bad
have-
things. in
I think if we
NFL.
have Coop comparing himself to AJ Brown, it's time to probably move on to the next game.
Yeah, we'll make this one quick because we're talking about the Rams Cowboys. I mean,
Oh,
KDawg, what do you have to say? What
yeah.
did you like about the boys this game?
Well, I think the defense stepped up once again, like showed what they can do. The Cowboys, they kind of blew them out, the Rams. I mean, the final score looked a little closer than it was, but at one point in the first half, the Cowboys were up 33-3. Koop over there, who picked the Rams to win, he must have been, a little confused about that
Yeah,
score. But
I remember turning to Prophet Jay and I said, "Hey, I know KDawg's gonna be hella mad about this comeback." But that didn't
yeah,
happen. Continue.
yeah, I mean the Cowboys they shut down the Cup and Puka duo. They combined for 7 catches for 64 yards. Part of that, Stafford was knocked out, but by the time he was, the game was pretty much over.
Yep.
Tell me.
CD had a CD
Yeah, I
had a
was gonna
great
say.
game.
Tell me about CD.
Yeah, he looked incredible. That just shows what this offense. I think this offense has to lean on him more. I think like some games they get away from him, but I think he needs to be the focal point. Because I used to think that maybe Tony Pollard should be more the focal point, but he's been a little disappointing thus far this
Yeah.
year. I also want to shout out Deron Bland, who is now
Oh, he
starting
must be
in place
listening right
of. Yeah, well, who's now starting in place of Trayvon Diggs since he's out with his ACL.
now.
Deron Bland has 3 pick-six this season so far, which is kind of
Hey,
crazy.
Really?
dude, maybe you
Wow.
should have picked him on your flag football team.
Maybe, but can you imagine if you had him and Trayvon Diggs and Stephon Gilmore? What a shame. What a shame.
Hey, Prophet Jay, can we talk about that absolute swindle you had in one of our leagues for CD Lamb?
Yeah, I just traded for CD. Dude, I've been trying to get CD.
Yeah, you love swindling our league mates.
Well, so I really wanted CD because I love the Cowboys schedule the rest of the season. And I was actually trying to trade for Dak in a couple leagues. No one was willing to bite. I know, crazy, right? I was trying to trade for him. So just to give some context, I traded Gus Edwards and Darnell Henderson.
Come
for
on, man.
CD Lamb.
What?
So here's
What the hell?
what my strategy was. Well, CD Lamb had Gus Edwards had 2 really great games this past week, fantasy wise. He got in the end zone 3 times on Sunday. We're kind of jumping the gun here, but
Yep.
and then the previous week he had like 20 points which was inclusive, or no, I think this week was inclusive of an 80-yard like catch and run. So, anyways, I was going to trade Gus to my girlfriend, and we were talking about it, working out a trade if it was probably going to be like Gus and a tight end. And so before that, I was like, I'm just going to send out some flyers. I was at the gym, was pumping some iron, and I was just like, I'm just going to send Gus and like Trey McBride I sent one for AJ Brown, for Jamar Chase,
Jesus.
and then for CD, and then the person I sent it to, he texted me and he's like, "Yo, that's a really like tough trade. Like I'm kind of down." So I pulled it back. I'm like, "Am I missing something? Like, what?" I'm like, am I undervaluing my players?" And so then I like kind of look at some trade calcs and stuff, and I'm like, "Oh, like no, I think I got this." And I'm like stacked on RBs, so I don't really need any. And so eventually he asked for Henderson instead of McBride, and I said, "Hell yeah, let's do it." So
I mean,
I now
it was just
am
the
the
ultimate sell high,
happy owner of.
but you sold high for somebody who you should sell very, very high. So I don't understand the rationale behind the trade.
Yeah, I mean, he texted me and he said, "You win the trade on paper, but I'm just really needy at RB," and I get it. Like, but to be fair, Gus Edwards is getting the majority of the carries with the Ravens. Darnell Henderson has looked good. I mean, he's not going to have the volume he does now. Once Kyrie,
it's not even Darnell.
Well, okay, Daryl, whatever. It doesn't matter.
He
He's
doesn't
not on
even
my
know the
team anymore.
guy's. He doesn't even know the guy's name.
But to be fair,
was...
the guy you traded him to, he does have Kyron, so it is some sort of handcuff there. But
I see. Well,
So
he's
anyways,
probably gonna love.
man.
He's probably gonna the guy you traded with. He's probably gonna love my smoking hot take later that I'm picking Gus Edwards to get 5 touchdowns over the Seahawks this week.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I'm just kidding, guys. I got a better one.
Anyways, yeah, the boys look good this past week. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dak looks great. They have a juicy schedule rest of season, and so that's why I was looking forward to him. I mean, Coop, you just got CD in Dynasty too, so
Yeah, I know,
um,
but I paid an arm and a freaking leg for that guy.
yeah. And I also got Tua in Dynasty too, which I'm pretty pumped about.
Yeah, which you kind of swindled there too. So
So, all right, let's talk about. Actually, I think we should bump this up to hot. I kind of forgot about this game. Falcons versus the Titans, man. The breakout. I mean, I know we're arguing over the term breakout, but I think this is a breakout. We can all
I don't
agree of
think it's a
Will
breakout.
Levis. Do you think he's going to come back down to earth a little bit?
No, I just don't think he ever played before this, so it can't really be a breakout. You know what I mean?
I
Dude,
actually like.
this is the
I actually
definition of breakout.
I agree. I like the use of the word breakout here. I
I
think this
don't
He
is
know.
threw
perfect.
four
Perfectly
touchdowns.
I don't.
Four touchdowns. Three
I
of them
don't
to
think
DeAndre
so.
Hopkins.
I don't think so because I think breakout is almost like a hindsight thing. If he goes out there and does it again, then you can say, yeah, he had his breakout game this game. But if he goes out
No,
there and like shits the bed, was that really a breakout, or is that
I
just
think
like a really good game?
I think we need a dictionary on this pod, guys. I don't
Yeah.
know why we're.
Good lord. Yeah, we don't
Let's
need to argue over this. So, but dude, so this Titans team is kind of legit now. If Levis continues to play well, suddenly you're not just stuffing the box to stop Derrick Henry. That's not the whole defensive strategy for a team. It's we got to
Right.
stop in the air and we got to stop Derrick Henry. But what are they going to do? It's kind of crazy. Like this is like if he actually is a decent quarterback, if he turns out to be one of the if he should have been in the first drafted in the first, like this is gonna be a revolution for this
He
team. And
should
like
definitely turn this team around for sure.
and maybe that's why they didn't trade Derrick Henry at the deadline.
Well, that's absolutely why they didn't. I mean, when you have your young QB throw 4 tutties to, you know, 3 to Hopkins, 1 to Westbrook Akine, why would you want to trade anybody at that point? You know, except Tannehill, get him off the team.
Get that bum out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Titans, you got to feel good about what Will Levis did, obviously, and then the renaissance of D Hop getting three touchdowns. But I still think the Titans are at the end of the day this season are a middle of the road team, not a team I fear, even
Wow.
with the more competent quarterback.
Even with a
I-
broken out.
I think that's a hot
Really?
take. I kind of think
I do too.
their secondary, the Titans secondary is I think hot ass, but other than that, I think they're a pretty complete team if they suddenly have a good quarterback or an average quarterback.
You know, they should have traded for like a secondary item. You know, that would have been pretty smart. But
Rasul Douglas, maybe. I mean, dude, all these defensive players were going off the board for peanuts, so I don't know. I mean, yeah they probably could have got something.
Now, speaking of doing something pretty smart, I wanted to go to the Falcons here. I know this is kind of looking ahead, but I think they were listening to our pod about how we were saying that Desmond Ridder was the 33rd best quarterback. They did the math. They were like, wait, does that mean that we have someone on our team that's actually better than him? And turns out, I think they do with Taylor Heineke. I'm excited for him to come in.
I disagree.
He was always like, I thought he was always pretty decent on the Commanders, or formerly the football team.
I think he just plays with a lot of grit.
I think, I'm not saying he's a top quarterback, but I think that the Falcons with Heineke as a starter, I think they should be the favorite moving forward to win the division.
Dude, I don't think Ridder deserves to be benched.
That kind of surprised me too.
I don't think he was playing that bad. Like they said were checking for a concussion, came back, he didn't have one.
Cleared.
And then Arthur Smith said they're just playing it safe, which was a load of bull crap because now they're saying that Heineke is taking over. Yeah. I don't think Heineke came in and he didn't look any better than Ridder did.
No, I think Arthur Smith's doing that don't let them know your next move type thing, you know. He's just trying to like outsmart everybody.
Yeah, guy's a moron. He's one of those guys who is a moron but thinks he's the smartest, but he's actually an idiot. Like, what are we doing here? Like with the quarterback situation, with the running back situation, with like I don't know, man. The Falcons, like I've been a big stan of the Falcons this year because One, I truly thought Ritter would play better. I think he has compared to last year, and I think he's improved over the season. I also have Bijan on my fantasy team, so I'm like, oh, and I think he's really fun to watch. I think he's the best player on that damn team. And it's dude, this whole organization, talk about poorly run. The Falcons are right up there, man. Get rid of Arthur Smith. Get rid of him. That's what I want. That's my hot take. He deserves to be fired. Maybe it's not hot.
Nope.
Anything else?
I think no. Let's run through some of these games. We got
All right.
some
Stinkers
coming up.
Yeah, we do have some stinkers. Texans, Panthers. Congrats to the Panthers getting their first win of the
yeah.
battle of the top two QBs. Or no,
Shout out.
top two QBs. Yeah.
Shout out to Koop for picking that one.
Heyo.
Yeah. What was Coop? What was your rationale? Just give us.
Honestly,
give us the quick and dirty.
I just thought, it's hard not to win at least one game, and it just seemed like the type of matchup where Panthers could pull it out. And it was just such a gross game, 15 to 30.
It was.
Like,
Yeah.
wow. And that's the type of game they're gonna win because they can't keep up with another team putting up 30. So that could be their only win of the year. I'm not gonna probably call them the rest of the year. So
Yeah. I mean, CJ Stroud's he's cooled off a lot too.
Yeah.
Speaking of people that started out hot, kind of like Purdy, just cooling off. Like Stroud's just not. I haven't, to be honest. I can't really say I've been watching a lot of Texans games, so I can't pinpoint where the area is that he hasn't been playing well. But he just he only put up 140 yards this week.
right. I think
That's not going to win games.
of the outcome of how Stroud does finish the season, I still think it's a win for the Texans. Just from what we've seen so far, I think he'll get back to that. And that team's just only going to grow. They have such a young core group, and they'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree. They're so young. This is gonna happen. But yeah, give credit to Bryce Young. He did outplay CJ Stroud this game.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I was gonna move on.
I think, man, I don't have like a lot of stats to back this up or anything, but I did hear that usually it's the number 2 picked quarterback to win over the number 1 in the past recent years of the draft, and this time the number 1 was able to win one.
I think the Panthers have arguably like the best wide receiver, better weapons than the Texans do. So that could play another part in it, but I don't think it's by much. It's marginal. All right, Vikings Packers. This game was a huge bummer. We lost Kirk Cousins for the season with a torn Achilles, which
chains, man.
Which was just terrible to see because he's been, in my opinion, just kind of balling out. And this Vikings team has just gotten bruised and beaten up, and it was just horrible because they're on a 3-game win streak, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
Oh, and I was just gonna say they just traded for Josh Dobbs. So
yeah, I think they don't think they're done yet. I mean, they got Jefferson coming back pretty soon. So a lot of people are counting them out going forward, but still counting on them.
I'll be the first to say I'm one of those people. I do not believe in them, and I've previously written out the Vikings, and I actually would have taken that back if it weren't for that Kirk Cousins injury, because they have won 3 in a row. They're sitting at 4-4. The NFC, as far as that last wild card spot, it could be anyone's at this point. So I would kind of lean towards the Vikings, but without Kirk Cousins, with Jefferson still out, I just don't see it. I don't see them making much noise the rest of the year, so it's unfortunate for them.
Jefferson, he's not this week, but next. So.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, from the IR.
Honestly, I don't really care. Josh Dobbs versus Kirk Cousins, that's a big difference.
Oh, man,
no, I don't think it's. I agree. It is a difference. I don't know if it makes that big of an impact. Justin Jefferson still is, in my opinion, a top 2 wide receiver in the league, and I think he's going to elevate Dobbs.
This is their schedule going forward. We got the Falcons, Saints, Broncos, Bears, Raiders, Bengals, Lions, Packers, Lions.
Yeah, some bad teams. A lot of bad teams.
Yeah, they got an easy. Yeah. They could win 9 games.
Yeah, they could win 6 in this next
That's fair. That's fair.
set of games.
Yeah. And then Packers, they just stink. Jordan Love.
Packers suck.
Packers.
Yeah, they just stink. Jordan Love stinks. He threw another pick. Can't get the running game going between Jones and Dillon. They combined for 40 yards. And I mean, where's Christian Watson? Where's Dobbs? Jalen Reed was the leading wide receiver for the Packers with 83 yards. So the Packers just, in my opinion, just tank.
You know,
you're not winning games. Jordan Love, find another option.
You know, we're so hard on the Packers and their young group, their young core, but why are we giving such a pass for the Houston Texans? You know, they're 3-4.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Because Jordan Love's not a rookie. This is his third year in the league.
Basically,
no. This is his third year in the league. He had 2 years. I guarantee
you,
Bryce Young or CJ Stroud would be 100 times better than what Jordan Love is if they were in the current situation.
Well, they also have a higher pedigree, so that would make sense.
I mean, they all went in the first, didn't they?
Jordan Love?
Jordan Love was late in the first. I think I agree with Koop that we should give them both a little grace with that because they are like two of the youngest teams in the league. But Jordan, like that is the answer why we don't is that CJ Stroud versus Jordan Love. We see that potential with CJ Stroud. You'd like to see more from Jordan Love at this point, and he's not a top 3 pick. You know,
he's also got better weapons than either of Young and Stroud.
I don't know if that's. I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't know. Well, he does. Well, I mean, could you say he has a better running back? I don't know. You know, Aaron Jones sucks.
Okay, wide receiver core. CJ
Stroud has that top 10 running back in. What's his name?
All right, that's enough.
That's funny. It's funny. I can't even think of his name. That's crazy.
Dameon Pierce.
It's okay.
Pull out receipts.
It's gonna be next year. This wasn't this year.
All right, let's move on. We said we were gonna blow through these, and we started talking about these two bum teams.
All right, this is the perfect game to blow through.
Giants.
Speaking of bum teams.
Hey, this is a barn burner in OT, baby. 13-10 Jets.
This is one of the ugliest. This is one of the ugliest games of our lives. I have more to say about this one, and then I don't have much to say.
Oh my god!
We should call out. There were 24 punts in this game. 16 3-and-outs. It's the most punts in a game since 1998. The Giants had -9 yards passing as a team.
Wait, no, that's not. The is not -9. They had 7. They had 7 yards.
They had
-9, dog.
Well, okay, my app is lying to me then.
Because I think as a team, then if you're looking at team passing, then they subtract the sack yards. I think.
Yeah.
Dear God.
And then they had -1 yards from Tommy DeVito. But I did see that despite having -1 yards passing, Tommy DeVito actually had more fantasy points this week than Patrick Mahomes.
Are you serious?
I mean, the rushing touchdown, he only needed 6.
He had that rushing touchdown. He had 7.2 points, whereas Patrick Mahomes had 5.6. So
that's gross, man.
Yeah,
good for Tommy. Good for Tommy.
I love that Saquon had 36 carries. I mean, he was just giving the ball to him.
Nuts, man.
Yeah, that is kind of ridiculous. Yeah.
Imagine if he was in a half point per carry league, dude.
Dude, I think they kind of need that to balance out running backs compared to wide receivers in fantasy.
Yeah, I agree.
And then let's just briefly talk. Garrett Wilson, great day, 7 receptions, 100 yards. I
don't agree with that because running backs are touching the ball 20 times. Are you giving them really 10 points a game?
No. Like, how about a third? How about a third of a point?
Maybe a quarter. All right.
Garrett Wilson, good day, 100 yards. Brees Hall, on the ground, not good, with only 17 yards, but 76 in the air. So
I think
Jets D is just awesome. They're just great. The Giants D is also good as well. I want to point that out. The Giants D is actually good.
We'll give you that.
All I got.
We'll give you that.
Everyone's just laughing at me. You guys are a bunch of bozos. Gotta call it the good points.
God, are you guys ever gonna let me say anything on this flipping podcast? Neither team should have won. Damn it. Carry on.
It should have been a tie. All right, Patriots Dolphins.
0-0. They just shouldn't have showed up to the freaking game if they're gonna play like this.
All right, Patriots Dolphins. Dolphins blew out the Patriots. It was not really that close at all
It's
throughout
funny
this game.
because I remember when we did the pick'ems, I believe KDawg and myself had this very intelligent discussion going on about it, and then
It was
Prophet J just chimes in and he says, "You know what? I just think the Dolphins are gonna blow out the Patriots. It's pretty easy." So, and
Yeah,
that's
wasn't-
good.
It wasn't really a
That's a good
blowout.
summary.
14 points. I don't know if I'd call 14 points a blowout. It was just a good win. I mean, Tua threw 3 tutties. Both Waddle and Hill both had great days. Waddle with 121.
I think
Hill
we
with
need a
121.
definition for breakout and blowout. I mean,
Blowout, I'm calling 3 tutties. 21
3
points.
tutties or 3 possessions, like
Tutties.
17 points.
Well, because 3 possessions is just like what? Oh, like you're just saying 9, like 9 points, like 3 field goals.
Sorry, 2 tutties and a field goal.
Okay, 17 points is fair. We'll call that the minimum for a blowout.
No, 9 points isn't 3 possessions, bro. Doesn't even make sense.
Okay, it's all jargon at the end of the day.
All right, this guy doesn't.
You got any more? You got any more to say about this game? It was pretty.
Jalen Waddle, he had a better game than Tyreek. I can tell you that much. Jalen Waddle breakout for the season? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Oh my god!
I hate you. This guy's so petty. Most petty podcast here on the planet.
I mean, okay, honestly, this would probably be Jalen Waddle's breakout game, right?
It's his best game of the year. It's not a breakout game.
Why wouldn't this be a breakout game?
Because he was great last year.
Kind of like Dotson had a few games last year.
No, Dotson wasn't good. It wasn't that great last year.
All right.
I don't have the stats to back that up, but I'm about 99% sure he wasn't that great. He had flashes because they had Heineke last year, man. They weren't doing much last year. KDawg, you got any more to say? You want to say about? Do you want to like try to back up your Patriots call here, or you got?
Not really. I mean, despite Ian Koop's extremely intelligent discussion last week, where we were going back and forth, turns out yes, I was wrong. So.
All right.
Hey, Chase Claypool 1 for 15.
Hey.
Oh, there we go.
Fun stats. Every game that Chase Claypool has been in where he's recorded 1 catch, they've won.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but it sounds.
Oh, I was gonna say, pull that out of your ass.
All right, let's go to the Saints versus the Colts. God, I don't even. Both these teams are like just kind of stanky.
I don't even care. Like,
all right. Saints won 38-27. Derek Carr threw to Kamara only 4 times, so that's
Derek Carr had a good game, and Kamara had a good game despite having those few catches.
So something crazy that happened. Josh Downs 150 yards, 2 tutties this game. So
did he really? maybe that's next game.
Jonathan Taylor, maybe he's kind of hurt. He didn't play at all in the second half. Yeah, I think he had 1 rushing attempt. So
yeah, Moss came in, had a good day.
Bringing back Moss, truthers.
That's me. I'm a truther.
Up, going ahead.
Keep an eye on that. And then moving to the Ravens Cardinals. Ravens won 31-24. Gus Edwards had 3 tutties. This is kind of a game we just expected the Ravens to win. I think we expected them to win by more than a tutty.
No.
Well, it was
Cardinals this game.
Well, that's because you a dingus.
And I was looking real dumb up until the 4th quarter. I mean, it was only Cardinals lost by 7, 31-24. They recovered an onside, kick it to Aguilar. He muffs it. They got the ball back, went down. I believe they kicked a field goal to make it down by 7, and then they try to kick it to him again, and he ends up actually recovering it. So, but could have been it.
Yeah, I think the final score that this game was closer than it really was. I mean,
it was more of like a 31-21.
Yeah, I mean, Ravens were up 24-7 at one point in the 4th quarter. Then Josh Dobbs remembered the trade deadline was coming up and was like, "Oh shit, I gotta do something here."
Yeah.
You think Josh Dobbs ends up a starter anywhere next year?
The Vikings probably.
You think so? Like he just sticks around and.
Depending on how they do, yeah. I mean,
because Kirk won't be ready for the start of the season.
No, I mean, yeah. So it's not like they're going to draft somebody highly. They're not going to get a Caleb Williams or
That's fair.
May. So maybe a Penix, but would Penix start next
Probably
year right
not.
away? Probably
Probably
not.
not. Yeah. Yeah. So, Ravens though continue to look good, look dominant.
Yep.
Mark Andrews only 40 yards, not really playing like a top tight end.
Okay, dog. Jesus. This guy.
Let's continue. Let's continue.
No, I'm about to go on a Mark Andrews rant now.
No, that's what I was trying to avoid. I
No,
see like Koop.
It's all good.
Okay, Bears Chargers. Chargers won 30-13.
Wow, what a
I don't
great
think anyone was really surprised with this. Herbert had a pretty decent day, throwing for 3 touchdowns and 300 yards. And
it could have been closer. But Gente threw a nice ball in the end zone that was completely dropped.
by was it Mooney? No, it wasn't Mooney. It was 12.
Some scrub. Anyways,
Who's 12? I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, they just weren't.
Is that Equanimous St. Brown?
Or
is he a different number?
Potentially.
Who knows?
I don't think we need to dive into the minutiae.
Yeah.
Of this game.
Yeah. I mean, dude, Bajan doesn't look bad. Like, in all honesty, I don't think he's playing that awful. But yeah, they need Fields
for only
if
a
they're gonna
start in the league.
Yeah. I mean, but to beat teams like the Chargers, like the Chargers haven't been playing all that well, but to beat teams that are not named the Raiders, like you kind of need Fields. Like they're just not. Bears don't got it otherwise. So, Bears probably just continue to tank? ? I don't know. I mean, they just traded for Sweat, so we don't really know what they're doing. The Bears don't really know what they're doing. Right. Tough time to be a Bears fan, in all honesty. And then
the
last game of the week, Lions Raiders. This one was actually kind of close through.
Oddly enough, yeah.
Like 3 quarters. It was a pretty big snoozer. Lions take out the Raiders 26-14. Garoppolo is now benched. The head coach is fired. The GM fired. The offensive coordinator fired. Devontae Adams is still there. Josh Jacobs still there. Just set to burn in hell with all Raiders and their fans because this franchise just sucks. So,
yeah, it's funny. I'm looking at the stats right now. The number 1 receiver for the Raiders was Josh Jacobs. 2 receptions, 27 yards.
Yeah, I saw that in the first half, Garoppolo completed more passes to the Lions than he did Raiders wide receivers.
Man.
Also, in the spirit of a lot of breakout games this week, how about Jahmyr Gibbs, guys?
Oh, Gibbs truthers! I'm a Gibbs truther. I got him top 10. He's looking like it.
He outgained the entire Raiders offense this game.
That's right. I just want to remind the Shmokers how close I was to getting Gibbs for Tank Dell. I was so close. You can't even see between my fingers. That's how close I was.
Right.
Who was this? Was this with KDawg that you're making this trade?
It was, and Koop just continues to exaggerate and really twist words. Let's move on. Let's move on. I guess this is our last game. You guys have anything else to say?
No,
I'm good. I want to stop talking about these snoozers of games, and I want to move on to our middle segment. If you guys are ready for that,
let's rock.
I want to give our quick recap first of
all right.
Picks. So we had a lot of ups and downs. We had a lot of games in which, we were kind of disagreeing on. Despite all that movement, though, we all tied this week. We all went 9.
Did we really?
Oh my gosh. We all went 9-7. So it was decent. I mean, another week of some upsets. So it's hard. It's hard to pick these games.
Who had the worst pick? Do you think?
So the worst pick, I gave it to myself. For once again, riding with the Patriots. I predicted they would beat the Dolphins, which just seems ridiculous, probably to our listeners. The best pick, I'm giving it to Koop.
Heyo.
Because he was the only one of us who was bold enough to say that the Bengals could beat the 49ers. Bengals were 4.5 point underdogs. Yeah, I mean, credit to that one. I gave Coop an honorable mention for picking the Panthers to win their first game too.
Oh,
You know, typically picking the Panthers, that's not going to get you very far in our weekly pick'em. So
That's
shout out
right.
to
I feel
Coop
like
so
for sticking with
th-
that one.
these pick'ems should be like weighted, you know. I think if they were, I would be on top by a
yeah,
heavy
because
That
margin.
would
he always picks the
yeah,
upsets. He always
that would be
does.
interesting. I don't know how he'd make that how he'd come up with the
Maybe
weightings,
next season.
but I like the idea. I like the idea.
You could say I'm either incredibly bold or incredibly stupid.
And we're not called
It's a
hot
fine
take, smoking hot takes for nothing, baby.
yeah,
That's right.
it's a fine line between bold and stupid sometimes. So Coop walks that line for sure.
That's why we call him Coop Poop
Yeah.
or Coop. I don't know what else we could call you. All right, let's let's take the focus off of us for once, right? Everyone's always commenting and memeing on us, saying, "Damn, that was a trash pick." You know, we're never getting any glory. By the way, I just want to point that out. But we reached out to you, audience. We asked you for your hot takes. It could have been for week 9, could have been for the rest of the season. And so we got 5 good ones, and we're gonna read them off. I'm gonna read them off, and then Koop, KDawg, you guys are gonna either buy or sell. Sell meaning I hate this, not a good pick or not a good take. Buy meaning you're all about this, you love it, and I'll chime in too. Audience, you guys let us know what you think about these takes. All right, you guys ready?
Let's roll.
Okay, so
Let's do it.
we got 2 of a similar topic. So I'm just gonna kind of read both sides of this, and then you guys tell me what side you're on. So the first side was that Brock Purdy is a top 12 quarterback. I assume this means from like here on to the rest of the season. Versus like top 12, meaning you could take it out of a fantasy perspective,
Yeah.
normal NFL perspective, versus the 49ers and Purdy. They suck. They're frauds. Purdy's only been playing well because he has a million all pros on his team. And honestly, Trey Lance should have never been traded.
Versus that?
Pick the side.
Yeah.
Do you like Purdy or not?
I'll go first. No. You know, at this moment in time, I don't think he's top 12. I don't think I ever believed he was. There's just too many good quarterbacks above him. Like, put any better quarterback in his position, and they'd be undefeated, you know? Or we put 12 other quarterbacks in there, and they'd be undefeated. So, yeah, I guess I kind of agree he has been getting carried a bit. I mean, any team that has Christian McCaffrey on their team, I mean, look at the Panthers before they traded him. They weren't necessarily great or anything, but he could carry that team to their wins. And then when you have pieces like Kittle and Ayuk as well to complement them, yeah, you're gonna have a pretty dang good squad.
Yeah,
What you
I'm
got?
somewhere in the middle here. I think
No, you can't be in the
okay,
middle.
well let me explain. All right, let me explain. Let me explain. If you had asked me after the Cowboys got blown out by the Niners, is Brock Purdy a top 12 quarterback? I probably would have said yes, to be honest. I probably
Yeah,
would have said yes. I
that's
can't really say that right now. Although I don't think I don't know. I'd have to look at the list again, but I think he's probably around that middle mark.
I think
Um,
yeah.
until we see more. I'm not ready to, but on the flip side, as far as that take saying that the 49ers are frauds, Purdy's done, etc.
No.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I think the 49ers will be just fine. I don't know if they're as dominant as we thought they were, obviously. They're still going to be in the thick of things, come playoff time. And I wouldn't want to play them.
Okay, how about the piece that Trey Lance shouldn't have been traded?
Uh,
I mean, as a Cowboys fan, sure, I'll take that 4th round pick back, sure, but
that,
I don't think the 49ers care.
yeah, I don't really have an opinion on that part either way. I mean, I
Yeah.
think it was good for him to be traded because he was never going to get a shot there anyways, barring some sort of injury. So I think it was actually a good thing for him. But yeah, I mean, this is just kind of how it turned out. Where I mean, even if he was still here, he wouldn't have had a shot. Like people were saying, "Oh, Sam Darnold's gonna be able to come in." If they had Trey Lance, maybe this would have been his shot. But Purdy ended up playing anyways. So
Yeah, just to keep my side brief, I don't think the 49ers are all that real. Like I think we see the recipe to how like just to stop Purdy, and that seems to be like a very winning formula. And I think if other teams that have competent defenses, which these Niners teams will be playing, especially once we get into the playoffs, that we'll see the Niners continue to be exposed and Purdy continue to be a bottom 15 QB.
oh man.
So
All right.
that's where I'm at. All right, second take. This one actually comes from number one Broncos fan 42069. The Broncos are a wild card team.
Dude, I kind of like this. In a weird way. You know, I've always had a soft spot for Russ. Like he's been there, done that. Their defense is turning it around. I actually heard somewhere that they have a top 5 defense since they got 70-point shat on them.
Wow, what a stat.
It
and
remains it remains unverified.
yeah, Javante, he looks like he's bouncing back from his injury from last year. I could see that putting something together here, you know.
Yeah, I'm buying
Yeah.
this one, man. I'm on that Broncos train right now. This is a fun take. And honestly, I
It
was
is
looking
fun.
at like the rest of the division. Well, first of all, the Broncos are second last in the AFC. I want to point that out. So they have a long way to go. They have to climb quite a bit, but the schedule doesn't look that bad moving forward. So I could totally see a world where this is possible. They kept all their wide receivers. They didn't trade Judy. They didn't trade Sutton. As Koop said, Javante looks great. And if Russ plays well, man, I kind of like this squad. I kind of think it's fun. I could see him sneak in. Let's ride.
I don't know. I'm looking at their schedule now. I see them at most winning like 5 more games. They could get lucky and win a 6th. And
They
that's
just
them
beat the
beating
Chiefs, man.
Chargers. That's them beating the Chargers.
Yeah. I I'm really surprised you guys are both buying that one. I'm gonna have to disappoint our friend Broncos fan 42069 and say that I don't think it's gonna happen. I mean I do agree with what you guys are saying that like their schedule doesn't look too bad, but looking at the standings, I mean I probably pick 9 or 10 teams in the AFC that I think are better
Yeah,
than the Broncos and have a better chance at a playoff spot. There's only 7 playoff spots. I just don't think it's
I
going to be
think
possible with that
as quick
competition.
as I jumped on the train, I think I'm actually gonna bounce off.
No, you can't do that. No takesies,
I'm out of
backsies.
here.
Oh,
No
yeah.
takesies, backsies. All right. Well, here's what I'll tell you guys. Week 10, off their bye week, the Broncos play the Bills, right?
Yes.
In Buffalo. I'm giving a sneak peek. I'm calling the Broncos on that one.
Wow, dude. That's a Monday night
Wow.
game too.
I'm
That's
calling
gonna be great.
Broncos to win that
That's
one
gonna be great, bro.
in Buffalo. All right, let's move on to the next one. This comes in from local Giants fan. Saquon should have been traded.
Whoa. For his sake, I think
No,
yes.
for the Giants' sake.
Because his whole career is gonna be wasted on that team. For Giants' sake, yes, because they could have gotten a pretty good return for him. I agree with that.
Imagine Saquon on like the Ravens.
Yeah.
I agree in the sense that it would have been good for the Giants, but I actually disagree. Like, there's one's going to trade for him. He's on a franchise tag. He's had injury histories. He's a running back that's going to be expected to pay super high. Why would you trade for him at this point?
I mean, he just went out
I don't
there
think-
and ran 36 times and was fine after that.
He's a workhorse, man.
Yeah, I would.
I
don't know.
I just don't think with his contract situation anyone would be interested. in
I mean,
trading
what's
for him.
16
Otherwise,
Dude, I saw
Okay.
the Raiders are literally paying both Josh McDaniels and John Gruden like $80 million for the rest of their contract.
I forgot they just fired Gruden too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they got more money on the payroll
me-
for head coaches than players.
Yeah, a team's not going to be willing to pay Barkley 16 mil.
I thought he was getting 10. Isn't he getting 10 right now?
Oh, is it only 10? I thought it was
I
16.
thought he was only getting 10. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I'm not so much talking about what they're paying him this year. I'm talking about like
injury
Or you get
history.
him this year.
Go,
No.
go get us.
I'm saying you get him this year, and then you have to you deal with it. He's a free agent, and then you got to
Oh.
deal with that.
Well, that's what they're
Yeah.
doing with Sweat for the
Yeah,
Bears and
well, that's kind of. I think that's kind of dumb, but it's
Williams
also
for
like a different
Seahawks.
position.
I guess.
Anyway,
Man,
what
ship Saquon out. That's all I'm saying. Get him out of there.
Yeah.
Take the second. You probably get a third for him.
Dude, him and
most.
Devontae, man, they're just gonna rot.
Second and third. I think they should just like all these like really great NFL players should just form their own team. They should just buy a team, form it,
This is the
and
NBA.
just run the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think players can own any part of the teams that they play for. There was somebody? Oh, Caleb Williams. I think this was like came out of context, but I saw some quote that it was like he wants to own whatever team he plays for, or like part of it. But I think that meant in the future. I think that meant in the future.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it was taken out of context.
I'm sure.
All right.
I'm sure there's a conflict of interest there where you gotta stop playing.
Right. Yeah. All right. Next one. So this one comes in from a neutral fan. They said that Alexander Mattison is a great backup, but the Vikings should have done everything they could to keep Dalvin Cook because Mattison is just a great backup and that's it. He's not a starter in the NFL.
And that's top 10 running back, Dalvin Cook.
Hey, you literally stole my words. I mean, yeah, he's a top 10 running back in the NFL. Like, of course you should keep him.
I think this is a doo-doo take. I mean, come on. What has Dalvin Cook done at all this year?
Nothing. He hasn't really had a lot of opportunity. I think. I know I'm just saying
the crop rises to the top, my man.
I know I was just saying trade for Saquon, but I mean, dude, the teams that are good at running, they often do it with guys that, you know, they're not the first round, second round guys that are going. Like, think of like Gus Edwards, right? Like he's breaking out, right? Or God, I keep hearing breaking out. He's having a good year. Like James Conner, up until he got injured, having a good year. Like there's just certain teams that are good at running. Like Rams, they're good at running. They plug in any guy and they're usually doing pretty darn well.
Mm-hmm.
So the Vikings just, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Cook was asking for a lot. You can ship him out of there. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think he left on his own volition, right? So, or no, did he get traded or was he a free agent? I don't recall.
He was
he was a free agent because he got signed kind of late, I think.
Yep.
KDawg, you have any thoughts on this one? You're the big Cook fan.
I mean, look, Cook is not a top 10 running back this year. Unfortunately, I was wrong. You know, even KDawg misses sometimes. But what was I saying? I do think that the Vikings would be a better team with Dalvin Cook. So I agree in that sense, but I don't think it would have been worth it to overpay him and then, you know, have that obligation in the future. So I think they're just fine with not having him, probably.
All
Which
right.
would be my mindset too.
The last audience, Shmokin hot take. Baker Mayfield will be a long-term starter on a football team that is not the Bucks.
No, let's just went down the toilet.
No. I mean, I think he'll be in the NFL a long time, but I think he's gonna be one of those guys that bounces around. Yeah.
I'm buying this one.
Really? I mean, he's definitely not the answer for the Bucks. So why would somebody else make him a long-term quarterback?
I mean, he's 28, dude. He's not playing that bad. Like, I could see him being, like, when I say long-term starter, I'm assuming that's like 3 years plus. I could see him being somewhere for 3 years.
I mean, he hasn't done that at all his whole career.
He did that at the Browns. He was there for 3 years.
Yeah, but that's when he was the number 1 overall pick, and they had to commit to him. We kind of know what he is now. He's a journeyman. Like he's a guy you can plug in for a year and do just fine, which is exactly what the Bucks are doing. And I think he'll have a long career of that, but I don't think any team's going to want him for a long period of time.
Yeah. I mean, I think he goes to the Falcons next, probably. But
I feel like he'll be one of those guys in like 10 years. You'll be watching a game, and then the starter will get hurt, and it's like, oh, we got Baker Mayfield coming in here.
Like when Matt Barkley
he's in his
Right.
We're gonna. There's always those quarterbacks that we don't really notice a lot, but just like bounce around so much. But of course, Baker is a bigger name. But
right.
I think its starting days.
I think Collinsworth is
Long-term
gonna be like,
starting days are over.
here's a guy. He's bouncing around a lot. Anyways.
Yeah.
All right, well, folks,
Great impression. Great impression.
you guys let us know what takes you like versus you don't. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree? Let us know. Let us know and give us your hot takes. I don't know if we'll do this next week, but I'm sure we'll do this again in the near future. And with that, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with the pick'ems. All right, welcome back, folks. We're here to talk about the Week 9 pick'ems, and we got some good games that we're discussing here. We got like four probably guaranteed bangers, and like I don't know. There's some duds here. We have four teams on bye Week 9. A lot of great teams. The first great team, we're missing the Broncos. Don't have the Broncos this week, and then we're also missing the Lions, the Jaguars, and the Niners. So you will not hear us talk about them any longer. Maybe in the power rankings. All right, let's kick it off. We're going to Germany. 6:30 in the morning, baby. We're waking up. We're watching the Dolphins. The 6-2 Dolphins versus the 6-2 Chiefs. Chiefs are a 1.5 point favorite. What do you guys think about this matchup?
The Chiefs are the favorites?
Yeah, the Chiefs are the favorites right now. 1.5 point. I think the Chiefs match up better on paper for this game. And that's because of the difference in defense that the Chiefs have versus the Dolphins on this one. I mean, their defense has been playing a lot better over the season. The Miami's defense is known to get exposed. Yeah.
I think so. You're calling Chiefs here? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm calling Chiefs.
Wow. I am saying F the Chiefs again. Taylor Swift ain't making it all the way out to Germany. I got the Dolphins here. I actually like their defense in this game because you know who they got back? Ramsey, and he did pretty good last game. I think McDaniel is gonna come up with some. He's playing video games out there, man. He's gonna come up with something nice and fun for his boys to kind of reenact on the field. And I just love picking against the Chiefs. So let's just keep it going, guys.
Fun fact, actually, Taylor Swift's international tour is starting this weekend, and it's in Germany. So she will be there, in fact.
In Germany?
That's crazy how that worked out.
She's not going to the game.
I'm just kidding. Her international tour is starting.
Oh, God. You got me, dude.
Could you imagine?
You can
That'd
see how
actually be crazy.
we follow Taylor Swift.
So Coop's going Dolphins, Prophet J is going Chiefs. I'm gonna join on that Chiefs bandwagon. Coop, I think you missed the boat on picking against the Chiefs. Should have done it last week against those great Broncos. I don't know. This is just I'm gonna keep with my narrative of the past couple weeks with the Dolphins that I don't think they're a top team. They haven't won these games the past couple. They haven't won. What did I say? They've won one game against a team with a winning record the past 2 years.
Yep. And so my narrative here.
I think that streak continues. I think here.
Yeah, my narrative here after the game. You're all going to come back, and you're going to read headlines. Dolphins prove it against a team over 500 or whatever. Chiefs.
That's a pretty well worded headline.
Shaky guys. What are they gonna do? I think this is just kind of like a Dolphins prove it game. They have the good record, but they don't
yet
have
to prove it.
Wins, right? So if they can get one over the Chiefs, I think people are going to start saying, "Hey, these guys are pretty legit."
Yeah, we'll see. I think you can't count against the Golden Boys twice in a row, right? Right, KDawg? It's
That's right.
They won't allow it, especially internationally. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of teams that Germany loves, we got the Seahawks versus the Ravens. Another great matchup. The Ravens, this game has happened in Baltimore. Ravens are currently the 5.5 point favorite. Two teams coming off some good wins. Seahawks beating the Browns, Ravens beating the Cardinals. And
I think we should send this one to KDawg first.
All right, fine. Send it to KDawg. KDawg, who you got? What do you think in this game? We know who he's getting. He's picking the Ravens.
I actually am gonna pick the Ravens here. I
I
really
just wanted to get that out of the
really
way.
debated this. I don't know. I did debate taking the Seahawks, honestly, but I think I don't know. Seahawks. These teams are so similar. Like their defenses are both playing well. They both have really good records, but haven't necessarily like shown that on in the stat sheet. You know that they should be there
Yeah,
necessarily.
they haven't both
The
beaten the
only
Lions or anything.
the only stat that really stuck out to me, Seahawks over the last 3 games, they have 7 turnovers, which is kind of an issue. The Ravens in that same time span only have 2. So that was kind of the stat I clung on to. But I think it's anyone's game, but I'm just gonna pick the Ravens given they're at home too. If I have to travel a long way.
Yeah, I disagree. I got the Hawks in this one. I learned my lesson picking against them, and I'm not picking against them any longer. This will be a huge statement win for the Seahawks because we have yet to really take a dominant win against anyone. The Lions was nice. This will be exceptional. Geno Smith, I agree, has to have less turnovers to win this game. But I'm thinking he locks in. He gets a little bit of that Bills mentality where, hey, we're playing a good team. We're going God mode. And so I don't think this Ravens defense is shabby whatsoever. I just think Geno Smith is going to be playing that damn well, baby.
Nice. The way I look at this game, man, am I kind of worried. I think the Ravens are a pretty dang good team. This is going to be a very big test, big road test. I think either the Seahawks get completely schmacked or they play a really close game and get one over the Ravens. I'm still picking the Hawks here, but I think they're just going to have to play a very complete game. They're not going to be able to get away with any turnovers. Defense is going to have to really step it up, stop Lamar. I think we have those players to do so. I think Witherspoon's going to have a pretty big game. Just being able to come up and get Lamar. I mean, you know how Lamar runs around. So we'll just see how it turns out. Yeah, like I said, I'm picking the Hawks, but it's gonna be a nail biter.
Yeah, we're definitely need to get a spy on him. I wonder who will be.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into KDawg's game. KDawg, you got to go last on this one. It is the
fair enough,
Cowboys.
fair enough.
Cowboys versus the Eagles. The rivalry as old as time, and the rivalry of the two annoying fan bases. My God, how is this game not? How is this not Sunday Night Football? Somebody tell me. Or how is it not Monday Night Football?
I know. Yeah.
Like seriously, this is
Yeah,
the game of the year.
For sure.
This is like the Super Bowl of America. So we got 7-1 Eagles taking on the 5-2 Cowboys. Eagles are the current favorite. It might be because they're at home. It's a 3-point favorite. They are. Wait, this is at home, right? For the for the Eagles, Lincoln Financial.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
All right, I'll go first. Maybe to the surprise of many, like the boys in this game.
Oh,
Nice.
And I'll tell you why. Yeah, I really think it's all because of the Eagles beating up secondary. The Cowboys, they haven't really been doing it on the ground. And I don't think they're really going to need to do it on the ground this week. I mean, the Eagles, they have a great run D. They've been stuffing it all year. But, man, I think CD is going to have just as monster of a game as he did last week. Dak just needs to not throw that many picks, and I think they got this game. Honestly, I kind of like the boys a lot. Like, I don't think it's going to be all that close. Like, I think CD's going to run all over. I think CD's just going to kind of blow up this Eagles secondary. And, I mean, the Cowboys D been playing okay. Like, we'll still see Brown go off, and I'm expecting big days from Brown and Smith. But
it's almost like you forgot that AJ Brown is on the other side.
I know. I hear you, man. But I don't know. I've been liking what I've been seeing from the Cowboys offense, and I think it has the capabilities to stop the Eagles in this. And you know what's funny though is I'm either going to be completely right or the Cowboys are just going to get absolutely blown out, like 49ers style.
I
That's the
don't.
way I see it.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna get blown out. I think it's gonna be a very close game. Whenever two good teams play each other, it's usually very close, unless you had something like the Niners game. But that's just kind of like you can throw that one away at this point. I do like what you're saying. I think the Cowboys are a good team, especially how Dak and CD have been looking lately. But I think you got to give the edge to the Eagles at home. I think it's all about kind of taking care of the ball. And these two quarterbacks kind of have a tendency not to do that. I mean, I know KDawg, I don't even remember what he said about the interceptions, but we've seen plenty of bad throws from these guys. It's going to be very close to how the Seahawks Ravens go. Any turnover is going to be taken advantage of in this game. So it'll be close. But yeah, I got the Eagles here.
So we got a split decision so far.
All right, come on.
I mean, I'm really excited for this game. Obviously, Cowboys Eagles. It's actually last year when these teams matched up twice, we didn't get the game to the full effect. The first game, Dak was out, and then the second game, Jalen Hurts was out, and so we haven't gotten to see ever since the ascendance of Jalen Hurts. We haven't really gotten to actually see both teams at full force. So I'm excited to see that. Granted, Jalen Hurts does have a little bit of an injury he's nursing. But anyway, this may surprise you guys, but I'm actually gonna go Eagles here.
No, you just lost the game for them. You did.
I'm really hope I'm wrong, but in the interest of trying to keep my lead alive in our pick'em, I'm gonna try to take all bias out of it.
Nope. You
I just
cursed me.
think these are just not until they prove me wrong. These are just not the type of games the Cowboys have been able to win recently.
Sure.
And if there's been one Achilles heel of the Cowboys defense, it's their run defense, and that obviously does not match up well at all with the Eagles, and so I'm pretty worried about that. I'm worried about the Eagles' defensive line getting after Dak, and him making mistakes potentially, especially since it's unlikely the Cowboys will get any run game going. I just don't think it looks good for him. I think if it was in Dallas, I'd pick the Cowboys, but at this point, yeah, and until I see otherwise, I got to pick the Eagles.
I can't wait to win. I can't wait for the boys to win this game, and then
Hey,
KDawg, I guess it's a win-win for you, right?
Yeah,
it's like
dude, you can say whatever you want. That's great. That's totally
Dude,
worth it.
I admire you for picking the Eagles, though. Like as much as Seahawks Ravens, as much as I am worried about the Ravens, I just didn't want to pick them because, well, that's not true. I think we can beat the Ravens, but that's what my bias leads me to pick the Seahawks.
Well, so far I think I've picked the Cowboys to win every game this year, and so I was just like, I can't keep doing this.
Oh, have you really?
Yeah.
I thought you had one where you didn't, but maybe.
I don't think so.
Should have been that Niners game.
Oh, I might have. Did I pick the Patriots to beat them?
No way.
I thought that was Koop.
What?
I don't know.
Oh,
Koop.
I don't think I did.
No, the Patriots.
Oh,
No, I don't.
You're trying to clown on me.
I actually wasn't. No, I actually wasn't. It worked out that I did, but I actually wasn't. I think I picked them every game. Anyway,
all right.
Yeah, we all have some exciting games to look forward to this week.
Yeah, and then this next one isn't any less exciting by any means. We have the rematch of a game that we really didn't get to see last year, which was the Bills versus the Bengals, because of the Damar Hamlin incident.
Right.
However, we're praying and hoping that does not happen to anyone ever again, and that we can actually see these two teams play well against each other. And I think we have quite the banger coming up. So this game's in Cincinnati. The 5-3 Bills taking on the 4-3 Bengals. The Bengals actually are the favorite. 2 points. 2-point favorites.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this one, because I think this game could go either way.
Sure. I think the Bengals are back, baby.
Is that what a Bengal sounds like?
Yeah, I got the Bengals here. I'm just gonna. I saw it. First time I picked them was last week. They beat the Niners. I'm just gonna ride with them, man. I don't think the Bills are any great team. Just like we said, they kind of play down. I mean, I know now you'd say, oh, they're gonna play well against the Bengals. Um,
Yeah, I think this will be a shootout. I think it's gonna be a good high scoring
yeah,
game.
it'll be a good game. I mean, start all the players in this game for sure, but I think Bengals are gonna win by a tutty.
I'm
Um,
going with I'm going with Bengals as well. I think they're going to keep it rolling. I'm surprised. I didn't know they were favored this game. I mean, they're at home, but that just goes to show that
Like
Vegas
how
thinks
big of
they're
a
back.
turnaround that
I
is.
think
Yeah.
they're back
everybody's
too.
hopping on the Bengals wagon. Yeah,
I mean, this
yeah.
is it'll be a fun game. I mean, it's only the second time we've ever seen Joe Burrow versus Josh Allen.
Oh,
If I'm excluding the DeMar Hamlin game.
Sure.
They only had the one matchup in the playoffs last year where the Bengals won pretty handily.
Yep.
I don't expect to see that this game, but I just trust the Bengals more, and being that they're at home on a hot streak, Joe Burrow looks like he's back. I'm gonna go with them.
they've been more consistent lately. Yeah, I agree. I also have the Bengals on this one. Um, I love just what we're seeing from Joe Burrow. He's fully healthy. He's running around, and Josh Allen isn't any slouch by any means. But I just think the Burrow and Chase stack are a little stronger than the Allen Diggs stack right now. Just kind of looks that way. And I'll be curious to see how much of an impact Rasul Douglas is in that secondary for the Bills. Maybe that helps. Maybe he's an X factor that we're not really considering. But I don't think one guy swings the whole game. So let's go Bengals. Let's get 4 in a row here, baby.
Let's get it.
Yeah, let's do it. Is that our first one that we're all aligned on? I think it is.
I thought you were gonna pick the Bills there, to be honest.
No, I mean, based off my logic of saying the Bills play up to their competition, I should have, but I just kind of think the Bengals are going to get this one, especially at home.
Fair enough.
This will be I mean, this is just going to be a really fun game to watch. I think we're going to see a lot of great things out of both teams.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about the Thursday night game that's coming up tomorrow. We have the Titans 3-4 versus the 4-3 Steelers. Steelers 2.5 point favorite. This is in Pittsburgh. Will Levis is confirmed starting this game for the Titans, and he'll be facing a much stronger defense than what the Falcons have to offer. And for that reason, I'm picking the Steelers to win this one.
Wow.
I think they're going to give Levis some trouble. I know I was gassing up the Titans, and I think this honestly will be, for a Thursday night game, will be pretty good. I don't think it's going to be a good offensive game. I think it's just going to be two strong defenses kind of going up against each other. But if I had to give an edge, I'd give it to the Steelers. So I'm taking the Steelers on this one.
Man, oh man. I'm taking the tits, baby.
He's taking the Mayo man.
Levis had his breakout game. Who's saying he's gonna stop?
Weren't
I don't
you?
know.
Somebody was. You were saying he was going to stop.
Exactly. I'm taking the Titans here though, because Kenny Pickett, man, he's banged up. I know he's a warrior, but the guy behind him, Mitch Trubisky, wow, that guy stinks. And Titans stop the run. It's not like Steelers are running that much anyways, but you're gonna force either a banged up Kenny Pickett to throw or a Mitch Trubisky to throw. They might make the secondary look like all pros out there, And if we can see any sort of movement down the field with Levis throwing to Hopkins, that's going to open up everything to Derrick Henry. And they just lost at home last week to the Jags, the Steelers. So it'd be hard to pick them again, losing at home with Mike Tomlin as the head coach. But I just think the Titans are going to pull this one out.
I'm going with the Steelers on this one simply
Nice.
because of the Mike Tomlin effect.
I think I have a terrible record picking on a Thursday, by the way.
They're gonna. Yeah, I mean the Thursday games are tough. I just feel like the Steelers
Because
are
you
gonna
always
pull
go
this.
for upsets. Yeah.
Steelers are gonna pull this together at home.
Yeah.
If Mitch Trubisky was playing, I might not feel as good about picking them. Like it's hard to watch, but I think Will Levis comes a little bit back more down to earth this game. I mean, he's not going to throw for 4 touchdowns again.
I think this just kind of extends the mythos of like what Will Levis is building, his legacy.
I don't know. This feels like an ugly Steelers win to me.
Man, this feels like a narrative of why didn't Will Levis get picked sooner? That's what I hear coming out of this game.
He's got to start like bringing like mayonnaise and
Just
bananas.
jars of mayonnaise on the field,
Yeah,
bro. That's
when
all
he
you-
scores a touchdown, uses as a prop. I mean, take
Yeah.
the flag, dude. It'd be funny. You'd start becoming an instant NFL legend.
I bet he probably hides a little mayonnaise packet in his jock strap to whip out after a touchdown.
You know how Marshawn Lynch came out and he's like, "Yeah, I take like a shot of Hennessy before every game."
Right.
He's doing shots of mayo and
Yeah.
smashing in a banana with a peel on. Maybe dipping it in mayo.
Yikes.
Yikes! Yeah. All right, let's go to the battle of the backups. Vikings being led by Jaron Hall versus
Who?
Taylor Heineke with the Falcons. Both teams 4-4, playing in Atlanta, where the Falcons have been mostly dominant. I just think this is kind of a gross game. I'm not expecting big things out of any team. I don't really have a good reason for saying this. I just think the Falcons are gonna win this game. I mean, I think their offense will be a little better. I think Taylor Heineke is probably better than whoever this guy is getting his first start in the league. And it's probably just going to be a run fest from the Falcons, if I had to guess. Algier and Bijan, I'm calling for big days. And the Vikings, I'm honestly, if I'm playing fantasy, I think I'm fading every Vikings player that I have, including Addison.
Nice. So, yeah, what an ugly game. And that's why I'm going to pick the Vikings. You know what I see happening?
Oh,
We're going to start with Heineken. I bet you $20 Ritter comes in. That's Vikings.
Oh man, I'll take that.
Vikings look pretty good on defense. You know, if this was a Kirk Cousins led team, I think you're going to say, hey, you know, now the Vikings are looking good on defense. This is more of a complete team. So Kirko goes down. And I mean, who's this kid? We haven't seen this kid, Jaron Hall. You know, he could play lights out.
He could be the next Will Levis.
Well, we've seen what Heineke has done. We've seen what who's the other guy? Riddler has done. You know, I just see this one going either way. Kind of a fun pick. Why not? Let's go Vikes.
I'm surprised to hear of Vikes on this one because I just don't. I think everything is going against the Vikings. I mean, maybe if Kirk Cousins was playing, I think I might pick the Vikings this game. But with this brand new, I don't even know who he is coming in, getting his first start. Don't expect much there. I agree with Prophet J. I benched Jordan Addison this week. I don't expect him to do much at all on offense. And going
to be
in the
honest,
road.
I wouldn't be surprised if Dobbs ends up actually starting this game somehow. So
I mean, can you learn an offense that quickly?
Yeah, I think it's too short, but
he did it when he came from the Browns to Arizona. So
it's possible.
I think the Falcons they have a better defense than people give them credit for. They've been good at home, and I think Taylor Heineke is a significant upgrade for Desmond Ritter.
I don't think so.
I still disagree with that, but
I think Arthur Smith's gonna find a way to lose to this Vikings team. Is where
I mean they are hot. They are hot, but no.
I mean,
they still got Hawkinson. They still got Addison. They still got Madison.
I'm gonna read you guys. Let me read you guys a quick stat line.
Sure.
This guy's started 25 games. Has a 64 completion percentage. 5,900 yards, 35 touchdowns, only 24 interceptions. Taylor Heineke.
Only 24 interceptions on 35 touchdowns.
That's Taylor Heineke right there, dude.
That's a 2-to-1.
That's a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. Not the best, but betting it's a lot better than Ritter. I think he's a significant upgrade. Has a lot of pieces. I think the Falcons might blow him out this game. You just got me talking. I just want to keep doubling down.
That's fine.
I'm going. Man. I think the Falcons get a big win.
Good.
All right, 2-1. KDawg and Prophet J versus Koop.
I mean, how am I supposed to get this lead down? To shrink this lead that KDawg has, unless I pick against him.
So. I mean, you just keep losing though, bro. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
What do you mean? We all tied. Keep losing. You're actually the one in last place, you bozo.
Not my power rankings. Power rankings are in first. Let's go to the Buccaneers versus the Texans. Both teams 3-4. This game is happening in Houston. Texans, they are actually the current favorite, 2.5 points. I think this is kind of another gross game. I probably won't watch this one. I don't think I would take the under in this. It's a 40-point under, over under. Honestly, I'm just going Bucks. I think they just have a better overall team, better running back, better wide receiver core. I think their QB's playing better, and I think that defense is pretty darn good. Let's go Bucks. Whoever wants to go, jump in.
I got the Bucks as well. I don't really have much to back it up, honestly, but the Texans just haven't looked that good recently. The Buccaneers are a solid team. I think they bounce back after the
Yo,
loss last
guys,
week.
come on now. I'm going the Texans.
Sure. Koop is just opposite. You're the antithesis today.
Well,
Did you see our picks and just go opposite? Did you find a way to hack into our?
No. I promise.
He's just going last. We're making him go first this next one.
I'll go first next one. That's fine. So Texans, Stroud hasn't looked good. He hasn't had a complete game in a while. I think he's gonna have one. Buccaneers stop the run. They do, but it's not like the Texans have really had a run game anyways. So I don't think that's gonna be an issue. Baker, I'm thinking his little magic run starting to kind of wear off. He did almost win the game against the Bills, but we know the Bills are kind of stanky sometimes. I don't know. I just see a little more of a little Bakey downfall. So give me the Texans at home. Something that Stroud said after he was drafted. He said, "I want to make Texans fans feel proud to wear this jersey," and I think he's going to do that at home this weekend.
All right. Well, speaking of teams from Texas, quick congratulations to the Texas Rangers for winning the World Series just now.
Yep.
So,
man, they
as Mariners fans, that pisses me off, but you know what? It is what it is. But we're a football podcast, baby, and I don't know why this next game's in the mid because this is a stanky one. We got the Chargers versus the Jets.
All right, I'll go first. I got the Chargers.
Wow, crazy. You know what's funny? The Jets have a better record than the Chargers right now.
I know they do.
Yeah, this game is in New York too. You got the Chargers for this one? They're the 3-point favorite.
Yeah. So I'll give a little bit of context. I think the Jets defense is going to give the Chargers some fits, but their offense, Jets offense, in no way can they keep up with. Even if the Chargers put up 15, the Jets offense can't even put up that many. So that's why I'm taking the Chargers.
I actually see a world in which the Jets win this game. I'm not picking the Jets.
Oh, you're not?
But I do see a world in which they win this where the defense plays well enough and the Jets, I mean, their offense, it ain't great. But they have two great playmakers in Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. Mm-hmm. And the Chargers defense is awful. They're terrible. So there's a world in which a few big plays shifts the momentum in this game and the Jets pull it out.
Yeah, I mean,
I think there's a world. There's many worlds actually. I think these teams play 10 times. The Jets win 4.
So why? Oh, I thought you were gonna say like 7 or something. You should just pick the Jets.
I'm picking the Chargers. I'm not changing, but I do see a world in which it happens. I think the Chargers are a better team on paper.
I see that world as well, Prophet J. That's why I'm going Jets.
Oh, nice.
I took the extra step.
Hey, that a boy.
Look, the Jets. I feel like we talk about them like they're one of the worst teams in the league, And I mean, they had that bad game against the Giants that looked terrible, obviously. But Jets have had a better season than the Chargers, simply put. I mean, and their defense is dominant. And I think, like Prophet J mentioned, I think they'll be able to do some stuff on offense against that pretty weak Chargers defense. And they're at home, so like I'm just never high on the Chargers. And I think the Jets can win kind of a close game here, like they have all year.
To be fair, I haven't really made this comp ever, but the Jets are almost built like the 49ers, which is crazy to think now. Wilson's just kind of a worse Purdy, but I could definitely see them winning this game. So, yeah.
No takesies backsies.
No,
But yeah,
I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
bet against the
I
Chargers,
feel like I
man.
painted a pretty convincing picture.
No, it wasn't you who did it, buddy.
Okay.
Get out of here.
Well, I was the one who said it, but KDawg added to it. We both can. We
Well,
both.
whatever. Let's go. Continue.
All right. All right. No explanation on these next 6. We're moving into the duds. You tell me. I'm gonna name the teams. You tell me which one you like, unless you really feel strongly about giving a reason why. All right. Bears versus the Saints.
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 I also have the Saints. Rams Packers.
Packers.
I got the Rams.
I also have the Rams. Koop, I swear to God, looked at our picks or something before.
What are you talking about, dog?
He's opposite on everything. All right. Commanders, Patriots. What do you guys got on that one?
Man. Oh, actually, no. Sorry. I actually have the Patriots here. I almost went Commanders.
Patriots are the favorite. 3.5 points.
Are they really? God
Yeah.
damn it. It's not what I wanted to hear.
KDawg, who do you got?
I'm actually going Patriots as well.
Oh, we all got Patriots. I'm doing Patriots
Yeah.
Oh,
too.
you did too. Damn, bro. I wanted that to be one of my upsets.
We're all gonna freak out. Oh my God, how could you pick this? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we all thought we were gonna be hot, and then it's actually kind of cold.
Yeah.
Cardinals versus the Browns. I got the Browns on this one. They're the 8.5 point favorites. I'm not getting cute.
Yep. I'm not pussyfooting around. I got the Browns.
Browns.
The crazy thing is, this could maybe be different if Kyler plays, but it doesn't sound like he's going to.
Yeah, I don't think you will.
Colts Panthers.
You know me. I like them Colts.
Colts 2.5 point favorite. I got the Colts as well.
Yeah.
This
I don't
game is
see.
in Carolina, though. It looks like.
It is.
I don't see the Panthers winning 2 in a row. I'm going Colts as well.
And
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew been okay. He's been decent. So let's see if it rides through. And then last game of the week, we got the Giants versus the Vegas Raiders. Raiders,
Well,
1.5
not the
point
last
favorite.
game of the week, but yeah.
Okay, well, sorry, last game on our list.
Gotcha.
Giants taking on the Raiders. The game is in Las Vegas. The Raiders are the 1.5 point favorite. You know who I got. I'm rolling with the G-Man.
Nice.
Saquon's going to get like 40 carries this game.
I got the Raiders here. I think you often see this when there's like a new head coach middle of the season. What, did I read your script?
Yeah, that was exactly what I was going to say, but go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, like we saw it last year with the Colts when Saturday came and then all of a sudden they won a game. That's kind of why I'm picking them here, to be honest. You see that it's almost like a what's the word here? Momentum shift, not a emotional shift for them. It's like it's a weight off their shoulders. They're gone. We can start playing well again. Take it away, KDawg.
Yeah, I'll just echo that. I think the interim coaches have a history of winning in their first game. Both teams aren't very good.
No.
Yeah, I'll go Raiders.
All right, fellas. So, folks, that was our pick'ems for Week 9. Let us know what you agree with, what you disagree with, and then, fellas, let's get to the stuff that people are here for. Let's get to the power rankings.
Right.
KDawg, or did I skip over some?
Nope.
Very good.
All right, KDawg, you want to lead us off? Power rankings.
Yeah, I'll just run right through these. Number 10, I got the Seahawks stay in the same spot. The Browns did not jump them this week, unfortunately. Number 9, Cowboys, same spot. Number 8, I have the 49ers dropping. Number 8,
Wow.
six spots since last week.
That's pretty far.
It was really challenging putting this together this week. I don't know about you guys,
I agree.
but number 7, got the Dolphins. Moving up a spot. Number 6, I got the Chiefs moving down 3. 5, the Lions moving down 1. Even though they won, just a product of other games that happen. Number 4, the Ravens moving up 3 spots. Number 3, I got the Bills also moving up 3 spots.
Wait.
Number 2, question.
Bills all the way up to 3?
That's right. And number 2, the team who beat them, Got the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Whoa!
Also
Whoa! This
moving up
got
3
hot.
spot.
This got
Also,
crazy.
Why do you have? Okay, never mind.
and
Whoa!
number 1, hopefully for the last time in a while, I have the Eagles.
Whoa!
Um, you may have noticed I don't have the Bengals on this list, which
Dog!
really
I'm
hurt
so
me.
done with this.
That really hurt me. But I just couldn't take any of these 10 teams off. I debated taking off the Seahawks, but I thought you guys would give me a lot of shit for it. So
Oh, you would have gotten the most
I
shit.
I left them at 10, and I just couldn't take any other team off. So I don't know.
Oh God.
That's why it was so hard for me.
That was
KDawg,
just
this list is hot. It's so hot.
It is interesting.
It's so hot, dude.
I'll go ahead and jump into mine. Get it kind of over with. So I got the Bills at 10. So that's why I was kind of like, why do you have the Bills at 3? I almost didn't have the Bills on
Yeah,
this list.
I did too. I almost dropped them
That's
too.
I mean
So
that's kind of disrespectful. I
my
might be a
honorable
little high
mention,
on
yeah.
them.
they're 5-3, you dingus. Anyway,
And they
did
barely
not.
just beat the Bucks. They
Yeah.
also just barely no, they just lost to the
yeah.
Jets.
See, all these teams have flaws though. Like that's why it's so hard
but
to
you have
like.
them at 3, dog.
All these
You
teams
have
have
them
bad
over
games.
the 2 lost Ravens, over the 2 lost Lions. All right, sorry.
I mean, I
digress.
think they're better. But anyway, go ahead.
All right, I know you're right. Okay, so if I didn't have the Bills here, I would have the Bengals. So Bengals at 11. 9, I got the Cowboys. At 8, I also have the 49ers. I have them moving down a lot. 7, I have the Chiefs. 6, I got the Hawks. 5, Lions. 4, Dolphins. 3, the Jaguars. And 2, the Ravens. And number 1, the Eagles. So
You guys, I
kind
like
of a
your
lot of
list, Koop.
movement.
I like your list.
Thanks.
Yeah, a lot of movement, which was similar to my list. I think I was just a little bit ahead of you guys. I can't. How are
Oh.
you guys still have the Bengals off the top 10 after they just beat the Niners?
I know. I really
I
wanted them
don't
there.
get
I
it.
really
I
did.
really
Yeah,
don't.
I
Get it.
just I just
because
couldn't
And you
take.
guys also called them to beat the Bills, no? So why are we
Oh,
not moving them
no,
up?
trust me, they will be on this list next week. I promise.
God, dude,
Yeah,
then why
I
not
just
just move
couldn't.
them up?
I just couldn't
Because
take a team off. Like, who deserves to come
yeah,
off? You know?
couldn't take the Bills off yet. That's all.
I'll tell you who doesn't deserve to be on your guys' lists. The Cowboys. The
Yeah,
Cowboys
I
don't
don't.
deserve to be on the
I don't
list.
I don't understand that. You just picked
I'll
to beat
tell
the
you.
Eagles. You literally just did the same thing that you accused us of.
All right. You want to hear my list? It's pretty good. It's actually not changing much from last week because you guys said I was moving so much. But honestly, it was a pretty damn good list. All right. At number 10, I'm dropping off the Browns, even though they played a close game against the Hawks. And I'm adding the 49ers at number 10. They're dropping 4 spots.
Wow.
At number 9,
that's pretty deep.
At number 9, I got the Buffalo Bills. They're back on the list. I dropped them last week. But honestly, I could see a world where I didn't have them on, but I thought they deserved to be on it over the Browns. At number 8, I have the Seattle Seahawks. They moved up 1 spot from last week.
Pretty low.
At number 7, I have the Bengals. They moved up 1 spot from last week.
Yeah, I'm okay with that ranking, you know?
At number 6, I have the Jaguars. They also moved up 1 spot from last week. At 5, I had the Detroit Lions.
Let me guess.
They stayed there.
They moved up.
No, they stayed there. At number 4, I have the Chiefs, who dropped 2 spots from the prior week. At number 3, I have the Dolphins, who moved up 1 spot from last week. At number 2, I have the Ravens, who also moved up 1 spot from last week. And at number 1, the Philadelphia Eagles. And that is the best list of the day. Thank you. Thank you. It's a pretty great list.
I mean, it's a good list despite just a glaring omission
Despite
of a
all of
certain
its
team.
flaws.
of the boys.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well,
but
I'm surprised you
if
don't
you
have
if
the
you
Jags higher, to be honest.
Well, here's what I predict will happen is this list will probably stay pretty close to what it is next week. But I agree with what you're saying, KDawg, is I'll probably flip the Bills with the Cowboys. So that's what I'm predicting will happen.
Hey, if the Hawks win, you're gonna be launching these guys into the top 5.
Yeah,
Ravens
that's
will
true.
come out of the top 5.
That's true.
So it's
Yeah,
another one.
but also if the Hawks have a close loss, I don't see them dropping from the list. I see them being 10-ish.
Yeah,
But
I can see that.
all right, well, Shmokers, you let us know what list is your favorite. We'll have them posted this week. You'll see them. You can react and tell us who's you like the best, who's you like the worst. How about those Bengals omissions? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Whatever.
All right, who wants to go first on hot take of the week?
I feel like you're gonna steal mine, maybe. So I'm gonna do mine first. How about that?
Okay, well, mine's already written down. So,
All right. So
and I alluded to the team.
I got a DK Metcalf
Oh, not even close.
breakout game, baby. 2 tutties, 125 yards against the Ravens.
Oh, that's
I
hot.
think he's
That's
gonna be
so hot.
I think
Okay,
he's gonna be,
so
hold on, let me get.
go.
I'm not done yet. God damn it! I think he's gonna be real instrumental in beating. I have this written down. An arguably better team in the Ravens. I think DK is gonna be kind of the key to beat this better team because he has not been really utilized, and he's been playing fairly injured. So I think he's gonna get right. He's gonna get right, get it tight in the end zone with 2 tutties, 125 yards.
I
So why?
hope that happens because I have him playing against you in fantasy this week. So
I
I
also
would
have him playing against
love
KDawg
that.
in fantasy.
So why did you decide to go 150 on Josh Downs last week and 125 with DK this week?
Because
Are you a little scared?
first I started at Aiden Hutchinson having a pick 6, all that hoopla, and
Right,
then I had
right,
I was
right.
like, okay, I got to kind of temper expectations here. So then I changed it to
Yeah,
2 tutties, 150. That didn't happen, so now I got to come down a little bit. That's
right.
all.
Well, if this trend continues, we could get to some pretty
Some poop
pretty
coops.
cold
Look
takes.
at
Yeah, it's like DK gets at least 2 catches this week.
that. Yep.
All right, KDawg, what's yours?
Uh, Mine's, I don't know how strongly I feel about it, but I thought it'd be fun. I'm going to one of the other top games this week, the Chiefs, I should say the Dolphins visiting the Chiefs in Germany. Tyreek Hill, he's had an amazing season this year, fastest player to 1,000 yards since before the Super Bowl.
Great.
But so far his lowest yard total in a game this year has been against New England. In week 2, he had only 40 yards. So I'm predicting against this Chiefs defense, against his former team, he gets even less than that, and
Whoa.
gets no touchdowns.
No. So you're saying the
Wow.
Chiefs just completely shut him out?
Yeah, I feel like everyone's probably expecting him to just go off against the Chiefs. This is his first time playing them, which very well could happen. But I'm gonna go the opposite on this one. Chiefs have pretty good defense. There's not really logic to it because he's just been unstoppable. But I don't know. I just feel like it
I
might
think you just
surprise people.
I think you just breathed it into the world that he's going to have the best game of the year so far.
I mean, there's
We'll
a
see.
world where that happens too. So.
All right. Well, I alluded to mine a little bit earlier. Any guesses on what game I'm going to
Yeah.
here, guys?
Cowboys. I know who it is.
Yeah, I'm going to Cowboys, baby. Cowboys. And I'm focusing in on Dak, Mr. Dak Prescott for
really?
this hot take. So I think Dak is going to have his best game of the season. He's going to throw for 400 plus yards and 3 tutties over the
Those are going to
Eagles.
CD.
2 to CD. 2 to
Ah,
CD.
there
I
we
have
go.
that written down
There's
too.
the
I have
real
that
hot
written
take.
down. I have that. I don't think he just got 2 last week. I don't think it's hot at all. I think it's very, very possible. And I'm seeing a future, man, where Cowboys win against y'all's expectations. Dak has a monster game.
Nice.
And KDawg's hooting and hollering next week on the pod. I can already
So,
hear it. He's
if
clapping, and he's got the Cowboys ranked at number 1, baby.
if my Shmokin hot take and your Shmokin hot take both happen, you're gonna absolutely crush me in
Yeah,
one of our leagues,
pretty much.
right?
Pretty much, yeah.
But
Koop will not be happy
I
next
have our
week.
people separately in other leagues, so I'll be perfectly fine.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, we've got CD versus DK in our game too. Cool.
Oh, you have CD? Ah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, I have CD in another
Well,
league, It's all good.
I love the prediction. I love the mindset. Really hope it comes true. But
Yeah, we'll see
it'll
who's
be,
closest.
that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough.
Yeah, this will be a fun one. I'm also measuring expectations from last week. Calling for 3 Giants touchdowns is clearly way too many.
Not the recipe for
Way
success.
too many. Yes. Well, folks, we are at time here. We have covered everything. We've given you the Week 8 recap, the Week 9 power rankings, the Shmokin hot takes, the audience hot takes. We gave you everything. You guys got to let us know what your thoughts on the episodes are. Were we hot? Were we cold? Were we too mild? And yeah, give us a mention over on Twitter. Let us know. Go check out our Instagram. Go check out the YouTube. Go check out the Teespring. There's so many things. You can get all your Smoking Hot Takes content. It's been a fun one. This is a long one, much to the dismay of Koop and KDawg.
Yeah, I was like, hey, can
Yeah.
we try to hold this to about an hour and a half? Now let's do. Let me check. 3 hours. Is that where
We're
we're at?
at 2 hours and 16 minutes. Something
Jesus.
like that.
Let's get out of here.
All right. You guys got anything else to say other than let's get out of here?
No, it's
Nah,
time
we'll
for
see
bed.
you guys
It's time
next
for
week.
bed.
Yeah.
It's
You guys
time.
next
I'm gonna
week.
go watch. It's time to go watch some Survivor, baby. All right, everybody. Y'all have a great one. We'll catch you next week. And yeah, stay smoking out there
See
because it's
ya.
getting cold.
Smoking.
Okay.